702, put your thumbs up and like if you do, drop your thumbs down. I won't be mad at you. Come in peace and let's chop it up. Hit my Pinel with intellect and resect. Drop was done and knowledge we will never forget. So please come and please, I wanna hear from you. And subscribe, like and subscribe, cause I'm a whole vibe and so are you. So hey sugar, it's like come in and subscribe. You're a whole vibe and we're a whole vibe. Like come in and subscribe. And we're a whole vibe. Like come in and subscribe. Hey sugar.
Hey, sugars. Y'all hear me?
Right here in the building. We good to go. Mic check one,
Oh
two.
my God. Okay, so listen, this is what I'm trying to I was trying to go live from my tablet because it has a better camera, but
Uh-huh.
I'm live on my tablet and I'm also live on my computer. So if I let myself up,
Now, like,
I'm also on the computer. It's two of me's, yo. Yo.
yeah, I got my vertical and my profile and my landscape set up. So
Good. Do this. Yeah, do the same thing. Okay, so I'm gonna take this off. Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me? Mic check one, two.
Okay, yep, you're good. All right, hey you guys. And I can let people up on the stage from the tablet. So, oh my God, that's so perfect because I can take that with me, like if I go to the bathroom instead of like leaving the whole computer, the tablet. Oh, that's so cool. So I can totally. Oh my goodness. Okay, so do you like my background considering our conversation?
It is definitely something that we don't get enough to see.
I
So
like this one. We're gonna start
but
off with this one first.
yeah, I would say it's very refreshing. Unfortunately, our society does not depict these images too often. We don't get to see it, and when we do, we almost look at it like a make believe or a fairy tale.
Hmm.
So for this evening, what we have, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about a couple things. I know Genesis here; she wanted to speak about the youth, and so I got some questions here derived, so we can go ahead and talk about that and get that kicked off. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Respect, welcome back to another episode of Smitty's Corner Live. I'm up here this evening with the lovely Miss Genesis. I am. And we're going to be talking to you today about the youth, something we all used to be, right? And something that's still around us today. So you go ahead and kick it off, Genesis. This is your topic, beloved. I got the questions. Like, what is it you wanted to really let the people know and why this is an important topic for us to talk about?
Um, Before we get into all that, let's just say hello to our only other person watching, which is hey
You know,
cynical
we
one.
you know we be on that. We be on that replay. That replay be hitting something vicious. I don't know what it is.
Right. So
Reason YouTube don't be trying to have people in here when we live, but I be looking the next day and I got like 4, 5 comments and everything. So
right, right. So I'm gonna go ahead and acknowledge the folks that took the time to watch us live or turn us on and I know do the same thing I do, which is turn you on and go do something and you just listening. You might not necessarily be watching.
that's a
But
fact.
then, you know what, to the credit to the content creators, there are content creators who show more visuals where it's more interesting to watch what they're gonna show you versus the ones who are just talking and giving you information. So you kind of know, like if you're gonna go watch, shout out to like Conversations with MJ because she does like the whole like 48-hour type of, the psychology of a criminal. You gotta watch her channel because you gotta watch the video to see what the criminal did. But there's other people like where you can listen to them and Like, shout out to like Freezy, no Freezy. You can listen to him because the visual, is gonna be minimal, so you can kind of absorb more information. So there's just a shout out to say, we're not always, we know you guys aren't always watching us, and we know you guys aren't always listening because we do the same thing to other content creators. So no love lost if you're not watching, no love lost if you're not listening. So, but to the people who are, shout out to who you are, and thanks for watching and thanks for listening.
They are
So
they are
yes.
and they are listening. It's just, again, it's all about what people are more comfortable with interacting with. So that's our job. Our job is to make people feel comfortable enough, open up the doors for folks, and lay out the folded metal chairs and have a coffee set over to the side. You smell me now? So that's our,
Hilarious. I
you
should
know.
order me a coffee now that you said that. I want coffee.
So
Um,
yeah.
Now that I know I can take you guys with me, I could go to the store if I had to. I didn't realize I could just throw you on my tablet and just take it with
Now
me.
I would like
My
because I just
phone.
washed my hair and my peoples are coming by, so I'm gonna be getting my hair done halfway throughout. Like at some point, I'm just letting you know now. My hairdresser's going to be here, and I'm going to have to go ahead and get my hair done. I'm gonna still be on the show, but I'm saying that's why I'm not camming up.
Oh no, I was gonna cam up too. But then I
I
was just
cam up
debating on if
a little bit. I'm saying, but once my hairdresser get here, I'm gonna have to cam down.
I know. I was just gonna say I was gonna cam up too, but then I realized I really want to put my pajamas on and relax, and not have to like throw on something presentable. Or just throw on. I don't know. I was thinking
I
the same thing.
mean, I know because when I tell people that when you come onto the internet, it is even though you're at home, it is a form of stepping outside of your door. Even though I'm still at
Yeah.
the comfort of my home, when I present myself live to you guys, yeah, the least you can do is wash your face and brush your damn teeth. And look,
Yeah. So I know I did all that. I was just deciding if I wanted to like throw on my PJs. Maybe let's just make it a PJ party. How about that? That's what it'll be. We're gonna talk about our topic, but it's gonna be a pajama party because I'm having my jammies on because
I got my flannels
I'm
on.
gonna be comfortable. I
I
got
got
my
my
lounge wear on. How about that? 'Cause,
yeah, I got my flannel pajamas on. So
yeah,
well,
we'll just throw on the lounge wear. We'll make it like that. There we go. There we
yeah,
go. We got it together.
I call it my home hoodie. It's basically
Home hoodie.
what yeah, it's a home hoodie. See, I got a couple hoodies that I wear around the house, and then I got hoodies that's like it's more so if I'm going, put a little something on it. Yeah. So right now
Yes,
I got
I
on. Yeah.
have clothes like that too. Minnie, no, are you serious? I have stuff that I just really wear around the house, and then stuff that's I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna. No, I have things that I wear outside, and I have stuff like, I'm not really gonna wear this outside. I might got a little bleach stain on the ankle or something, or it's all stretched out and nice and comfortable. I don't
It's
know.
literally levels to this. It's levels to this. I have
I
house.
didn't know that you got play clothes too,
Yeah,
Smitty.
I got like literally I have like certain shirts and hoodies that like it's levels to it. So I have listen specifically clothes that's for yard work and cleaning up around the house.
Yes, for cleaning up. Why are you
What I wear because I don't care if I get a little dirt or bleach on it or something. It's
Oh,
okay.
I'm not gonna look a mess.
In the
Right, I'm
house.
not gonna look a mess in case I gotta run to the store real quick.
So look, so that's my around the house. Then the next level is things that I just wear around the house to chilling like this, right? So I don't want to get this all bleached up and messed up, but I'm not really.
You're
Yep,
not
that was
gonna walk outside in that.
not like I wouldn't go out. Like if we going to do something, hit the mall or something, nah. And then I have my clothes. Watch this. Then I have my jet to the store gear.
Not really funny as ever.
Jet to the
Not
yeah,
really.
jet to the store. So basically, yeah, I'll step out the house in it, but I won't go out to a function in it. And then last but not least, we have when I'm getting fresh. All right. So you got your clean up,
The levels.
you got your clean up gear, you got your what you just wear around the house, you got your I'll jet to the post office and this, and then I
Run
got
some errands.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That real quick, you just go into Staples and grab some bread type move. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like
because it's not the same outfit you would wear if I was coming over to your house and chilling. Like if I was going
exactly,
over to my friend's house, I won't wear that. I won't wear that.
exactly. Like I'm gonna get a little more fresh for you. You know what I'm saying? So
No, that's crazy.
yeah,
I
yeah.
thought I was the only one with play clothes.
Nah, man, nah. It's levels to it, man. You get old enough, man. Nah, definitely, yo. I definitely have my like every year, like this is like you'll see me cutting the grass in this. Like that's just like I got a
And it's
certain
the stuff that you had like last year and year before that just like moved over, right? It's like, man, you don't really wear this sweatsuit out no more. You got a new one.
a
And
little
then,
worn
you
out,
know,
out, you know what I'm saying? Probably wasn't the best.
yeah.
Just something I got off the fly real quick. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. This is my, like I got a Maryland shirt that I wear. I cut the grass in that every year. You'll see me in my sleeveless Maryland shirt running through the yard. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but definitely though.
That's funny. I thought I was the only one. Listen, every time I talk to you, I find out I am less and less weird. Thank you.
No, no,
Because
that's
I'd be like, I'm weird. And then I'd be like, and then I'll talk to somebody, and then I'll still be like, oh, okay, I must be the only one. And then now I run into you, and I'd be like, you know what? You are not allowed.
no, no. So
Smitty's here with you. We both got play clothes. Cause I'd be like, I don't want to wear this out, but it's just something to wear around the house. Cause then I like clean up in it. And then I got the stuff where this is on what I only wear to clean up because it then got worn on and you know what I mean? And then if depending on my living style and where I am, if I have my own yard, then that is my yard clothes. And if it's not, it's my clean the car clothes. I don't wear the same thing I'm gonna wear out that I clean my car in, I go to the car wash in. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like I thought I was the only one that still does that. And even having your take off the day after you take off shower, I still can't just put on any. I have to put on either what I'm going to bed in, and even then, I'm not wearing that to bed. If I went out the house in it and like ran to get gas, I'm not wearing that to bed. I still have to change something because when I go to bed, what I wear to bed cannot have been touched by nothing else. Is
yeah,
that weird?
no, it's not, man. My father taught me that I never forget when I used to come home from school, and
Don't
if
you
he was
lay in that bed with them outside clothes on? Get the
and
hell off of my bed.
sit that man what, and I go sit down. If you don't get up off, he give me that look too. If you don't
Take
get
your
up off the
outside
bed
ass clothes off
with
my bed.
clothes, oh yeah, you don't go. Yeah, nah, come on, man. We was raised that way. You don't sit on nobody's bed with your outside clothes on. No. Oh yeah, we come from that.
Smitty, I thought
Mhm.
I was a weirder.
Nah, you ain't. We just
You say, nah, you ain't.
that's all.
Well, then at the older you get, the more reclusive you get with certain customs and habits and stuff. You be like, and then you look back and who raised you? Like as much as I hate it, everybody don't take their shoes off when they come in the house, which I don't understand because literally what we just talked about goes along with taking your shoes off when you come in the house. Why would you walk the whole outside through your house? The whole outside you stepped in is about to be all through your house. And then what you're going to do later is take your shoes and your socks off and run around in the outside that you just brought inside. So,
Now,
child.
I get you with that. All right. So me personally, right? So in my home, it's like, all right, so when you come in, I think you might have seen a picture. When you come in, it's wood. My kitchen is all hardwood. So when you come in the walkway, you go straight, you finally hit the kitchen down a hallway, and then it opens up. That's all wooden floor, and then the steps are all wooden. The living room and dining room are the only two sections of my home that has carpet now, and that's where I do say no shoes on the carpet. I have a really good Swiffer, so like I'm always
Mm-hmm.
so like it's not that big of a deal if you come on the hardwood with your shoes. You see what I'm saying? I don't
Mm-hmm.
make that big of a deal out of it, but that carpet, oh no, definitely because it's like a cream color. It's like a whitish cream. You know that it's not
And the
white.
fact that you got to clean all that off every time somebody, and they just walk like Rick James or shit. They fuck your carpet, F your carpet, nigga.
The
Like they don't care. People don't care.
carpet upstairs, man, that's the exact same carpet from when this house was bought back in 2003, and it has no like walk path in it, nothing. It's still plush.
Mm.
Yeah. It still raises and everything. So
Well,
nah,
it's so
definitely.
fluffy.
It's still fluffy. You can still rub your toes in it. Yeah, yeah, it's still
Oh, I
fluffy.
love carpet. That's why I love carpet. I love
Yeah,
to rub my toes in the carpet.
still fluffy. It's not worn down even after 20 something years, man. Yeah. Nah, so I mean
That's
that's
amazing.
it's like one of those, how we was raised, it was certain rooms of the house you just don't really
You
go
just
to.
didn't hang out, right? That
You
ain't
know,
all your hangout area. You got
you
your
know,
hangout area. What you doing?
with that dining room and the carpet and right, exactly. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying?
the dining room carpet was always fluffy because then nobody go up in there until Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, exactly. And that's literally how it is. That's literally how
Ooh,
it
the dining room carpet was always good
is.
and fluffy.
That
Stop.
carpet is A1. You would think it was just laid down yesterday.
Oh, that's crazy because the dining room carpet was always. You got the dining room carpet up there.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have that little smoothed out walk path in it or
Ooh,
nothing.
I hate that. That's
You know
crazy. And
what
then
I'm
how do
talking
you live in that? How do you just see that every day and don't do nothing about it?
about? It's just laid down, and then you can see where it's flush on the outside, and you can see your walk path. And nah, I ain't got that going on. It
How do
was
you live in that every day and don't do nothing about it? Is what I don't never understand. Like you see
where
it, you see it
I'm
building up, and then you just don't do nothing. Nothing.
gonna be real with you. I think what it is that it's one of two things. People who live like that generally, it's either a headspace. You got a lot of
Yeah.
people press, man, and when you not feeling right in your head, you'll say F everything around you. You just don't care. That or they don't have company often. People who not
Mm-hmm.
folks coming by, you kind of get a little used to your own shit.
Yeah, but don't you would get self conscious when folks come over and be like, "Damn, look at your house." You'd be like, "Oh, let me oh shit."
But I
I hope
mean,
you would.
I've always been on my mindset is I stay ready. So say you or anybody, just matter of fact, my head's gonna pop up here in a little while. I'm ready. Like I'm not worried about, oh shoot, man, dang it, these clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get this off the car. I don't have to go around moving a bunch of stuff. I kind of, for the most part, keep my stuff in order. Like I said, I just have to mainly like kind of sweep up dust, things of that, empty my ashtray, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like the little stuff around the knickknacks. Get a cup or two I might have had. You know what I'm saying? Little things. But now,
Yeah.
my home is never like in disarray. Nah.
Not disarray. That's a new vocabulary word. Watch that fly around the internet. The new word on the internet is disarray, guys.
Uh, So yeah.
Guys,
But
it's crazy.
speaking of that, when we were growing up, segueing into it, um, I remember I remember how we had a lot more discipline, I believe, when it came to hygiene, cleaning up. I'm not
Oh
saying
yeah.
don't make their kids do certain things. I'm just saying like that literally was like a mandatory. Like, did you do your homework? Like, did you take a bath?
Right.
It was like absolutely you better ain't no I'm gonna wait till I smell you. I shouldn't
Oh
have
no, you couldn't. But
you see
then,
what
but then we had to smell out like outside though. So that's kind of was I was oxymoronic because it was like ooh, but I know it's a different kind of smell that you talking about because the other kind of was we had to smell like something because you couldn't just smell like you was no in the house kid. No ma'am, no ham, no turkey. So you had to smell like something, but you shouldn't have been funky. You should have just had normal activity, play outside funk, like
you
normal activity funk.
you know what
Not
took
the
me
not the kind that you don't wash up behind funk. You should have normal daily activity funk.
it took me about until my early 30s for me to actually recognize when our peoples be like, you smell like outside, what that smelled like. I believe I was at a cookout or something. I was at some kind of family function, and one of my little cousins or one of my little nieces or something, who's younger.
Oh, came in running in, and he was like,
I
"Ooh,
never
what is
forget.
that?"
I said, like what I said. So that's it.
He was
I was
like,
so
"Girl,
careful
little niece,
because they
what?"
all used to say it to us, and we be so. I know most of us as kids, we be so baffled. Like, what you mean? I,
You smell like outside. Ooh, come here. You smell
I
like
don't smell like
outside, child.
it's not if it's not breath, feet, feet, and underarms. I'm thinking I'm good. Like, nah, you smell like all
You
outside.
smell like all outside, and then it smell like, and then that's what the all
Like,
outside means. We can smell almost where you been, like you just left somebody's house that was barbecuing, you smell like you've been walking next to somebody who was smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? You can smell a little bit of a few different things sometimes.
Yeah,
You can be like, oh,
yeah.
you smell like all outside. Jesus.
So I do see it with that, but you wanted to talk about the kids and stuff, and I remember you were saying something about the youth and like the differences. Is that what you were speaking about? Right.
I was referring to my I had a conversation with my nephew, right?
Hmm.
About my nephew. Um, but yeah, so one of the concerns, one of the things I was looking at was like, who is really supposed to be there for these kids in real life? Like we sit here and talk about all this mentorship and all these programs, but then there's not, sometimes there's not programs for every kid and what every kid is going through. Hey, what's up, Hustler and Musler? Shout out to you in the building. So so yeah, so let me just hold on, I'm coming. Let me just get to my story. Y'all. I was y'all know I have to give my fur baby attention before I give y'all attention. So when I give my dog attention, take him out and take care of him, he always delay. Just like a man. He make me late for stuff.
I
Um
I know you did not just say that. I know
yes, I'd be like,
you
puppy,
you
come
snuck
on.
man.
Huh?
I said you snuck that one in.
Uh-huh. Why every time I go live do I have to put on I always spray myself with body mist like y'all can't smell me. I just be wanting to smell good sitting there.
Hey, nah, you know what? I can't even front. I like
Like
the same thing. Like I'll at least like kind of freshen up around my face, hands, and arms, and get a little aftershave. Not cologne, but I might aftershave it a little bit.
see the camera on this one is awesome, right? But it sucks. So because I can't what do you call it? Blur the background and all that business. So I'm gonna probably bounce back over to my computer in a second. But yeah, okay, so I mean I don't want to start off and going so deep into it, but I guess we can start off going so deep into it.
Nah,
Um
I can kick it off for you. So I got you. I got you. So starting it off with this one right here. So question number one reads: are these kids being raised softer or smarter than what we were? And what do you see the biggest difference to be? Are they being raised softer or smarter?
it is. It's a lot of soft softness, right?
I'm listening.
Hold on. Hold on a second. Sunday today.
Okay, so
What's
you
today?
think
Hold
that
on. I'm sorry. I just got a message. I'm like Sunday. Wait, what's today? What's today?
Wednesday?
Okay, never mind. I got you. All right. They are being raised softer. Can you do a poll? Can we do a poll? Are kids raising softer and harder? How do I do a poll? Oh, I need to go to my actual.
I don't have the capabilities on my end.
You do?
I don't, because I'm a guest. Let me see. Let me look.
No, you go to your.
What settings?
No, no, no. You actually go to your actual YouTube page, right?
Nah. Well, if I do that, I'm gonna kick myself off the panel and some more stuff. Have to try to bring myself back. It's gonna be a little bit much for me.
Oh, because you're on your phone, right? Okay.
Mm, yeah.
Oh, I got you. No problem. I can do the poll. I can say that. Never
Sister
mind.
gonna be here this weekend, and I'm gonna have my computer hooked up. I got the daggone keyboard. I don't
I
know
was
because
gonna say, shouldn't it be here by now?
I've been had that. I had that thing for about 4 days now, 4 or 5 days, man. I'm just waiting for my sister to stop by and come visit me, and she gonna help me hook it up. I told you she's the computer geek. I think I was talking to you when I said it.
Oh, okay. She's a computer geek. Okay.
She knows
So,
she know how to do all that stuff. I mess around and I don't know, man. I tried. I put it in. It's a little chip, right? It's like a
hmm
little chip thingy that you stick in your modem.
hmm
Supposed to connect, but I don't know. It's not. So I said, look, I'm gonna leave that thing alone. When you come past here on Saturday, I'm gonna go ahead, let you do it, let you come down and fix it for me.
let's see. I can add myself to the stage here, and then
I
I
can't.
can.
So yeah, so when it comes to are these kids being raised softer or smarter? So what was you saying exactly? Well, we got
I
a
was
little.
saying, I was saying, let me fix my mic. This one's good, right? That's
You
all
look just.
right. Okay.
We can see you nice and clear.
Okay, good. Can you see me clear though? Is it good and clear?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, nice and clear.
All
Beautiful.
right, so let me go back over here because I was putting that into the poll of kids, the youth of today being raised softer or smarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Softer, let's say softer or smarter. Right?
Yep.
Let's say that's the question of the poll. Add that.
And what's the biggest difference that you see in how they're being raised and how we were being raised? It's the biggest
Oh,
difference.
of course, there's a big difference. So, okay, so well, I guess we can go ahead and segue right into the whole thing. You know, the whole thing is that everybody knows me, my nephew. I love my nephew to death, and so like he got in trouble at school. So of course, there's the parenting style that you have to deal with, as well as um, me. You know, and I'm a different kind of authoritarian, right? So let's say that I work very, 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 very well with kids. So the whole thing with the whole softer with him, he's super smart, and it's almost like the softness um he can create this level of intelligence, right? Can y'all hear me still? Okay. Um, it's
You
almost like
crystal clear. Keep going. You good?
the softness can create this level of intelligence. He's super smart. He'd rather be smart, right? And he'd rather be on more on the intelligent side. However, uh the soft parenting, you know, I mean, it's because they realize this generation of parents, they realize that um the violence that we endured as kids, like whooping and the aggressive parenting and aggressive um uh, structure that we endured, it didn't make us necessarily better people or better, you know, make us a better kid. It just made more violence and it created more intimidation, more insecurity. So that whole 30-year-old, 40-year-old group of a 30-year-old group of parents, they don't subscribe to that idea that I should be you know, putting down a firm fist or putting down their rod, or they don't even a lot of them don't even subscribe to a spiritual base to where the spirit of the rod and spoil the child would even be considered, right? Because they don't subscribe to the faith base. So to tell me to spoil the rod and spare the child means what, right? So you're already dealing with that because there's no exact structure that you can kind of refer to as a proper way or a way to rear your child. And for people like me, my word means nothing to some because I don't have any children. So what do I know? And what I do know is when I observe, I have more room to observe than you do because you need to watch your children and you're taking care of your kid. Your mind is filled up with doing other things, and my mind is actually a little more open to observe things. And what I start to notice is that the softness is can create this hyper intelligent kid. So they are being raised smarter, but they're not being raised smarter in regards to like social awareness, environmental awareness. You know, these kids will be sick into their phone and their iPad or their tablet or their game while they're walking home with these big old Dr. Dre headphones on and oof, earrings. Um and they'll be like not even aware that someone could be walking down the street behind them posting, getting ready to plot, you know, just kind of like freaking casing the host, you know, casing them. They wouldn't even know. And if you just don't believe me, just drive down the street and where you're living and pay attention. So, you know, bringing this back to my whole nephew, he got in this little situation at school or whatever, and some of it was a lot of it was him understanding what was actually going on. So that's where the smarter factor comes in because they're not being raised with that part of the smarts. They're not being raised with the same street awareness that we had, the same keep your head on the swivel, you know, the same stranger danger, some of the same like figure out how to get, you know, you miss the bus, you got to figure out how to get to school yourself. But nowadays, it's not even safe for them to even walk to school because of what people are doing to kids and what's happening to kids. So you can't even you can't even implement some of the tactics that got kept us, that made us strong, that got us like where we are right now, right? But the ones that are like me and you, the reason why we're here is because certain things we had no choice but to learn and figure out on our own. But this little generation doesn't have room for that. So the smart factor, the things that we know is smart to be, like the skill sets that we learned growing up, they're not getting those things. They don't have to. They don't have to. Some kids have never ever had to walk home from school because where they live in their mom's apartment complex is on a busy street, and there's no bus stop. And when they go outside to catch the bus because of daylight saving time, it's dark. So you're gonna have your kids standing outside on a thoroughway because you live on a main thoroughway apartment, or you live on an apartment area where there's nothing but apartment buildings, and they're all on a main thoroughway. There's no safe spot for your child to stand outside and wait for the bus, or you might live in an area where there's no busing. So those kids, some of those kids, like in my nephew's class, have never ever ever not getting a ride, had a ride to school. And in their mind, if they miss the bus, there's no concept of how am I going to get to school. It's either I just don't go or my mom's coming to take me. Whereas in our generation, we had to figure that out because it was us having to take ourselves to school, or even down to like doing chores, having the accountability of not having to do the chore. Then they grow up and they end up
Hmm.
working for us, and they work at our McDonald's and Taco Bell's, and they don't know how to work because they don't. And then you question, didn't your mom teach you how? Do you have to mop floors at home? Do you have to clean windows at home? Do you have to make your bed at home? And those kids will tell me, Smitty, no, my mom does it. And then and the only reason I'm saying that more so just because of my nephew, but because I mean, his mom does do a lot for him, and is have to slowly integrate tasks into his world because for this generation again, is a lot easier for them not to have to learn how to do it because their parents are doing it for them. So where our parents, we were latchkey kids. So we're latchkey. You get home. I mean, my nephew's latchkey. It's a couple of kids in his neighborhood that's latchkey. It's probably like an hour or 2 hours before their parents get home. But that wasn't the same structure. They have nowhere near the same structure that we have had when we were kids as latchkey kids. So it's just interesting to me that they're not gaining the intelligence that they gain by just having to live through the childhood and do childhood things that are exactly in on the level of being, a kid. They're not even experiencing those things. So they're not getting that smart, they're not getting smarter from that. They might be academically smart because they're inside, they rather be on their video game, they communicate with other gamers, and they sit inside and they do their homework and they learn, but then they don't have like the street smarts, they don't have the social awareness smarts, they don't have to watch over their shoulder when they walking down the street, or in an environment that they haven't been in before. They have none of that is relative to them. So they're not smarter in that area. They're street dumb but book smart. Or the YNs are book dumb and street smart. So you see how I'm saying? So they're not actually getting nothing, a smarter balance at all. And the softer thing is not working because I mean, like I said, my 30-year-old sister, they don't want to have to whoop a kid, my nephew, but he doesn't want to get a whooping. He's 13. He doesn't need to get a whooping. But at the same time, they realize that generation is firm on the fact that never hasn't worked. He doesn't know nothing but create a violent person. So they're not going to implement the sparing the rod or the firm hand of God that we got, you know, that we made it through. So there you go.
All right. So
I
one,
like this double thing. Hey, hey, go ahead.
right.
I like
um,
it.
all right. So one, first of all, yes, I was a latchkey kid myself. I remember getting home and my peoples ain't like it's wintertime. It's dark around 5 o'clock. Peoples ain't get home till about 7:38. So yeah, around that time. Yes. So I remember what that's like. I remember what it's like to have to call my mother's job. But see, that's the thing. We had like my mother and my peoples had an actual real structure.
We had accountability
Home,
checkpoints. Yes.
I absolutely had to call mom's job. And just so she can hear my voice, I'm in the house. That's it.
Hmm.
Like we ain't gotta stay on the phone and stuff. She might ask me how was my day or something. We might talk for a minute, what your homework consists of, blah, blah, blah. But no, yeah, it was more so I just had to go ahead and call her like every day when I got home. So the structure
That's
that,
not there either, right? That's not there
and
either.
even down to they said, my peoples told me, they said, when you're in the house, make sure that you keep majority of the lights on in the house so it looks like it's a full house.
Mhm.
Almost like Home Alone when he was doing it with the mannequins and the, he was making
Mhm.
like he was dancing in the house and stuff. So yeah, they said like keep the turn the radio on, turn it up a little bit, and turn the lights on in the house. And it worked because one, listening to the radio, having a TV on and the lights on, felt like I wasn't in the house by myself.
Mhm.
It used to be a little scary for me when I was a kid at first. You know what I'm saying? Just how your
Mm.
imagination runs. When you're talking about raising kids,
Mhm.
I know people like to say, well, you don't have any kids, so you can't talk about them. The first thing I would say is this, Genesis, did you not used to be one?
Mhm.
So I mean, the
Mhm.
fact is, like, even though you don't have any, you once upon a time were one, and I mean, I'm pretty sure you remember a good amount of your childhood. I'm pretty sure you remember how you were, how you responded, what little fears and stuff you had to get over, what hoops and hurdles, and learning yourself. I'm pretty sure you remember the process of you growing up, right?
Mhm.
So it's all right if you don't have children to speak on the fact of, I mean, cause shit, somebody got to speak on behalf of the youth. And if majority of the parents ain't gonna do it, I don't mind anybody stepping up.
Right.
But this is what I'll say to Landon. Most people nowadays don't have the rituals we had. Like for example, when you said,
Rituals.
"Why?"
Rituals is kind of a thick
Okay, no, no, it was ritualistic in this household. So for example, Saturday morning,
routine. Routine.
okay, you can say routine, ritualistic, whatever. Okay, I mean maybe that word's too strong for you, so I got you, I got you. I play ball. That word's too strong. So routine. Um, on Saturday mornings, we like you got up. Like once you hear that Frankie Beverly and Mays and all of that Bootsy Collins and that Isleys and all of that playing, you get up.
Mhm.
And we all had a task, we all had a job. So my point is, I recognize how when you were saying structure wise and being responsible, all of the things that our peoples had us doing, if you grew up somewhat how I did, it was
Mhm.
automatic preparing you for the workforce and it was preparing you for life. When I would have to cut the grass and my pops would tell me, nah, don't just cut the yard and leave the thing in the middle of the yard. You hose down around the lawnmower, get the grass up off of there because that greenery is going to eat it like acid. So you hose it down, give it a little shake, and then you go ahead and wheel it and put it back in the shed and you lock it up so don't nobody steal it. Like I had to learn how to actually complete a full task. I had to put things back. I had to make sure that I did it in a certain order. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So, like my pops always would say, you sweep the steps going down, not up. You
Who
learn.
does that?
It's the old saying. You sweep the steps going down, not up. So as in there is a system, there's an order in doing things, is basically what that's basically referring to. It's a system and an order. So when it comes to that, I don't believe that we have because I'm gonna be real with you. As much as I'm on my kid,
Mhm.
I didn't really have too much of a fire drill structure for her. I had to teach her that a little bit later on. And I was thinking to myself, all the things I did not teach her and tell her beforehand is my point. But yeah,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? And so it just, a lot of things kind of hit me like, wait a minute, bro. Like we grew up stranger danger, what to do in case of a fire. If somebody knocks on the door, offers you a ride, like all of that. And I just wonder how much do we really actually have those talks with our kids nowadays, as opposed to just letting the TV tell them and maybe put on a show that'll have a fun dance jingle and a message. You know what I'm saying? But I
Well,
digress.
we see the evidence in that by the result of kids that go um that end up missing and or deleted and or in some type of That's what I was doing while before you came. I was pulling up. Remember, I said I wanted to like see what the the facts are. Um, but you can see that by the number of kids that are not here anymore, right?
Mm, okay, I see what you're saying.
So, let's see. So it'd be like the number of kids that are missing due to abduction, right?
Right.
That's just you getting snatched up off the street, right? And we'll say, what does that number look like? Wow.
Nah, but see, look though, right? You know, I was talking about that. I don't know if it was with you or someone somewhere else. We've had that when we were growing up. Don't forget. That's why we had McGruff. That's why we had Dare. That's why we had all of those type of commercials. Not to mention we had the milk cartons. We had the "Have you seen me?"
Like remember earlier, like I said, when is the last time you seen a don't do drugs advertisement?
When was the last time you seen advertisements for a missing child? And there
Well,
kids,
you
huh?
see that in Sam's Club. Like you go to Sam's Club, you go to Costco, there's a wall. You go to the post office, there's a wall. But as far as um before, remember it was the
It was
let's
"Have you
go.
seen me?" Like they'll have a little like with
Have
your
you seen me? But
I
that's still
that.
current. They still do that now. Like it's like you said at the wall at Costco and at the post office. All right.
So I remember that, and I remember "Have you seen me?" and I remember like the milk cartons and stuff. So I mean, all I'm saying is that my point in saying that is these things have been happening. And you
Mm,
know, talking about that, like I believe that now is just that it seems like it's more because we're able to get it on footage more through phones, cameras being everywhere, ring
you
dash.
think so? Like the footage? Oh, you saying like with ring cameras or being able to
I
be
have to
seeing people being yeah
100%.
yeah. But as far as like just people, yeah, just reporting somebody's happening, the Big Brother cameras. Okay, I got you. I'm like, what other way? Yeah,
Yeah, cameras changed the game. So it's like, you know, that's why I guess you can say it may appear to or seems like it's actually um more of it going on. But no, like actually, no, I think really I think it was going on more when we were coming up because people were able to get away with it a little bit
more.
easier when we was
Yeah,
coming cameras everywhere. It wasn't cell phones how we have and computer cams and all of that. Like you didn't have that everywhere, man. Like that was something a camera is something you literally had as Polaroid. Like you like that was about it. So
right.
I
So you
believe
thinking because we're now are we is it more desensitization because things can be happening and no one will even say anything, you know. So, but however, it's still this it still doesn't negate the point that fact that there are people who live in areas where it's not even conducive for their kids to even walk to school, even though you know what I mean. The safety factor is just like here in Michigan, you got to worry about somebody sliding off the road, freaking running into you on the side of the road, losing control of their car because it might be icy or, somebody could be acting funky.
in Chicago when they had the kid and the mom that got jumped by all the kids going to school. I mean, you
Yeah, going to school. Yeah. So
the
it's almost
kids going to school. I mean, it used to just be the gang members who were grown. Now you got to worry about that and going to school. So I mean, I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying on that one.
yeah.
Um,
And then the safety factor of it is not, it's not like I'm teaching, like I said, I'm just only saying anecdotally just because I don't know what it would be different if my sister had a girl, but we have I have a nephew. So absolutely have to concern myself with, the fact that it's just being who's going to teach that lesson because that lesson usually comes from either being around your friends and you have a range of friends that are around you, but there's no peer groups, there's no peer circles anymore. I think we were discussing this too, how for these a lot of these kids, the main core of their adolescence was online because they've been locked in the house for 2 years, and then when they finally start socializing, they're back in school. So there's only limited socialization there because you're only with the group You're only with certain kids until a certain grade level, and then you're off to another bunch of kids. So you're, depending on how long it takes to adjust, you might adjusted in seventh grade, and now you're in eighth grade, and now you're off to high school, right? Or you might have started adjusting in fifth grade, and now you're back. Now you're shot into junior high, so now you got to readjust. So we're not teaching them the skills that we would have learned from being in a friend group playing the dozens, hanging around your friends, looking, your teacher coming in the room and everybody looking at each other, having that anxiety feeling of who's gonna squeal. And she says, "Who did this?" And no one says nothing. We don't have that. We don't have that experience. This group is not having that experience of that unwritten, that unspoken conversation, that silent conversation that you get when you look at your friends, Smitty, and I look at you and you look at me like, and we automatically agree that no one's gonna say nothing. We don't know who the one who spilled spilled the milk. We don't know who stole the cookies, but they're not getting those experiences, so therefore they don't learn that life skill. They don't learn that social skill. They're not doing that. They're not doing the lean on me, want to go see a dead body. No, none of that. None of that's happening for these. And then when the kids do hang out, they're doing mischief because it's more important to be accepted and be with my friends and be okay. In smaller groups of pockets of kids that are just okay with just being an oddball out, and even then, those kids are leaning into depression because they're kind of silenced. It's almost, like in this generation of parents, these guys are 30. They don't know what to necessarily do with a depressed kid. They just got finished being a depressed kid themselves.
Well,
So I don't
no,
know.
not even just that. Now, I'm gonna tell you what that is contingent upon. Now, I'm gonna be real with you. So let me help you out. I'm glad you said that. So me personally, right? I actually take time. Like I talk with my kid. I talk with Phoenix because
I love that name. That's awesome.
oh, respect to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She definitely rose from the ashes of her mother and father. Um,
The ashes of my loins, baby. Go
yeah,
ahead.
but my point is that I definitely speak with her. Why? Because that's how I was raised. Like I came up to that. I was actually very fortunate. When I look back on my upbringing and I think about it, I'm very fortunate. I didn't have parents that was like, "I'm just gonna beat you behind with every little thing you do." No, they
Mm-hmm.
as mad as they would be. Oh man, my father's face, the way he'll bite his lip, his bottom lip, and then I tell you and grind his teeth together and talk. I told you not to do this shit and everything else. That that was enough. It really is it's true. So when we talk about the presence of a father, it's very, very true. So I didn't have to get as many spankings as needed. You know what I'm saying? Because between my mother and my father, I had that upbringing. But when I would get a spanking, when my peoples would put belt to ass, as they would say,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
my mom's will wait about a good 30 minutes. I said this before. She'll wait about a good 30 minutes or so. Then she'll come in the room, sit down next to me, and she'll tell me why I got a spanking. She'll tell me why he just did what she did. You know what I'm saying? It's not something
Mm-hmm.
that she gonna beat my ass, and she don't have also the other side of it as far as the communicational set of skills. My mom is an excellent communicator, so is my father. They know how to talk you through things. So, I do the same thing with my kid. So I think I've only had to spank Phoenix like once or twice, and that spanking consisted of I just tapped her hand and said, "Go upstairs." You know what I mean? Because I've never had to actually really do anything because I know how to talk to her and get her to recognize where the flaw is and what's going on. You see what I'm saying? Dad be giving her that mouthpiece. I be in her ear. So yeah.
See, yeah, with me, with most of the children I've ever dealt with, or because again, people leave their kids with me. Surprise. Um, However, most of the time, it's the disappointment they don't want and the miss out on all the fun because I'm a big old kid at heart too. So as though some parents don't entertain that with their children because for whatever reason they feel like they're an adult now, they don't have to play with their kids. So when they meet me, I'm the grown up that will play with you. Then they weigh again. They learn very quickly that if I get in trouble with her, I'm not going to enjoy the fun part of whatever we're
But you
gonna
know
do.
something though, real quick, pineapple, mango.
Mm.
So when it comes to that, I think my father for me is a perfect example of what it is that My pops, I remember he literally would do like a Skeletor voice from He-Man. And I remember him playing with me with my toys when I was a kid, like when I was like 4 or 5 years old. My father, all he did was he just shifted how he spent time with me. I got a little bit older, you know how we spent time. He made sure he signed me up for the local rec to play 125 basketball, football, and to play basketball for the local rec or whatever, play for for the Bulldogs and everything. And he would be there at the games. He would help me practice. He would help me coach. So now we're spending time, but it's a little bit different. It's no more with the toys. Then
Mm-hmm.
when I finally got older and all of that part is gone, you know how we spend time? We would watch games together. Like that's me and
Mm-hmm.
my thing. Like me, like on Sunday, 1 o'clock, man, Washington on, like that's our thing. Football season, oh yeah, oh yeah. So my point is to land it. What he did was, and I'm very thankful for that. He just went on ahead and shifted how he spent time with me, how he, if you want to say play, how we played. You know what I mean? It went from clashing toys together to him cheering me on along the side of the field to us sitting down together and just, you know what I'm saying? He got his sparkling water, I got my beer, and we just go ahead and kick it and cool it and we watching the game. So yeah,
So good good segue into the other concern I have with my nephew. And I don't know, I wanna dive really into what is behind, there's definitely pros and cons to everything, period. Um, and I know there's probably a different pro and con for because for same sex parenting. Um, so I know that's a big concern in our in our community in general, but now we have to add that because those parents differently, right? And those kids grow up differently. They have a little extra something or a little different something way they look at things in the world, especially depending on whether or not if their um paternal parent is in the picture. I know there's some extreme cases where, one person has passed away or there's a situation where there's plenty of situations where this person has always been identified this way. So we're not talking about those cases either. We're not talking about those. We're just saying in general, same sex parents parent differently than heterosexual parents, whether it be two women or whether it be two men. That being said,
you just
that
threw
has
she just threw me in the stew. God dang it, Jim. I ain't
I'm
know
just
you was gonna
saying
go there.
I'm just saying how depending on the combination, if you have two women raising a boy,
Right,
there's gonna need to be a father in the picture because you're gonna need you need a masculine, you need that masculine energy. Well, because you talked about your dad just now, kind of segued into the fact because in this space I've heard both sides. I've heard that you absolutely, I mean, I even know of someone who with their son got to be 14, she sent the son to go live with his dad. And that was the agreement they agreed upon from the beginning of birthing this child into the world once they realized they were separated, right? So at the point that you bring the child into the world, you guys might have been together, but then somewhere along the way you separate. At that point that you realize you're separating, are you gonna make the agreement to say, hey, if the mother takes the son at some point, the son needs to go be with the father. That
right.
I've heard people disagree with that because I've heard women, and men say that no, 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 a woman can raise, a young man just as well as a young man can raise a young man. K. Michelle said, "Can't raise a man. He's grown. What you gonna do? He's already a boy. You can't do nothing about that." And I'm noticing even more so with this young generation that there's a lot of young people who have same sex parents and in that regard, there's a lot of boys being raised in same sex female homes. And if that's the case, in real life, there's nothing that woman can, no matter how much of a stud she wants to be, and like I said earlier, she's imitating sometimes those I'm not saying all stud women, don't come after me, LGBTQ people, but you guys emulate the worst part of a man you emulate the Pookies and the Ray Rays and the ain't shit dudes. You don't emulate the Morris Chestnuts and the Denzel Washingtons. You don't emulate the doctor and the anesthesiologist. You emulate the nigga down the street which is that dude is not nobody. The women that was with him don't want him, and then you bring that into this relationship, and no matter what you do, you're not going to ever be a man to raise a little boy. That little boy needs a man, right? So that's segueing into the fact that this some of this youth is mess. Is going to have an issue because there's no father. They're not
Yeah.
even going to get the rites of passage, Smitty, the rites of passage that you would get just because, from being. Just think about right now what you don't even probably think it was the rites of passage that you experienced with your father, but it was something as simple as, and I'm not trying to be vulgar, you guys. Y'all know I don't give a whole entire shit. This is my channel, but you literally standing there as a toddler walking in the bathroom while he was going to pee taught you literally how to go pee pee. You didn't learn how to stand up and go pee pee by watching your mother go pee pee. And I'm
Well,
sorry I had to say it like that, but I'm a Cancer.
but
Sue me. Don't like my channel.
add
Fuck y'all.
this though. But let me add this though. All right. So look, right. I get the whole like because dad wasn't there. All right. Now, one, we have to remember that. All right. So look, what I will say is, at least for my upbringing, right? I I I recognize the balance. Me being able to have the balance that I have as far as like from my mom and my father, right? From my mother and my father, both of us. I mean, both of them. My father taught me you should always a balanced man is a man who has two hands made of velvet and thunder. I shit you not. He
Oh,
used
that's
to tell me,
nice.
yeah, like seriously, a balanced man has two hands, one made of velvet, one made of thunder. Of course, the thunder is the don't play with me. You're not going to
And
think you're
velvet
going
is
to.
soft. Velvet is really soft. It has no
And then
choice.
you
There's
have the
nothing.
velvet side, exactly, which is more of
Yes.
your gentle touch to life. He always taught me that that is something that a balanced man should have. So when we just say like, "Oh yeah, you're this because you just didn't have your father," it's like I believe more than not having the father, the balance was thrown off, as opposed to blaming dad wasn't there. Yes, it's the factor of dad not being there, but the balance has been thrown off. And I digress. My mic is muted. Respect to the family.
Yes, because I know I didn't have my father as much as I would have probably preferred. And then I also have had a stepfather for a large majority of my life. So it's not that I didn't have a male influence around me. However, I'm also of a different generation. So, the way it works for me, um, is not going to absolutely work for this generation. And I'm just noticing the gaps in. I wonder if I remove myself from the stage, can y'all still hear me?
If you remove the one on the right, yeah, the one that's cam down, uh,
The one that's Cam down.
there you go. Oh, snap. Nah, your volume just went out. Yeah,
Okay,
it just
so
went out.
so that's because I'm on this on the tablet in here, but I'm also on the computer. Okay, so I see how that works. So that's all that is. You have to just okay, I see.
Oh, nah, because okay, I see what it is. You got your mic, what you're on right here that I can see you on. Your mic is muted. On the
Right,
other
because
one, mic
that's the computer.
right. I got you. I understand now. Nah, that's just fine. Leave her ass up here. She can be a strag. Ah, shit.
Extra company. Make my panel look full. We full now, y'all. Look at my panel full, y'all. Period.
Hey, man, look, moving on up to the east side. Um,
But yeah, dude. I
I'm gonna
think
ask you this.
now I'm more so convinced that even just going through my own experience and then seeing what's going on with my nephew and then the other kids, like they need their dads. Like this is the point where you absolutely and no shade to like I said, no shade to the alphabet community. I love you guys just the same. It's just that unfortunately I don't think at some point if so there because I follow a couple of a couple of the LGBTQ on Instagram where they've adopted children and or like how the Brat and Judy where somebody's egg became fertilized so they're having a baby I'm not saying that, and they have a son, and I'm not saying that two women can't raise a son or two men cannot raise a little girl. I just think at some point throughout that process, the same way with two little girls, with a little boy and two women, or a woman and two men and a little girl. At some point, two men and a little girl, that little girl is gonna need to be around an actual woman. You know what I mean? And then at some point, with two women and a little boy, that little boy is going to absolutely need to be around a man.
The factor that I believe is definitely missing from our community now that we used to have. It was something called the village. That's why I even throw that up.
Well,
And
go
so,
ahead, because I'm gonna tell you what I learned about that part of it.
so watch. So my point is that you know when we had a village, I remember having homeboys of mine and even homegirls of mine who did not have dad in the house.
Hey, wait, do you drink beer?
I drink wine.
Okay, I just wanted to know if anyone knew
I
that
drink
if
like I
Modelo
like
was good.
beer. I like beer if it's like what depending on what I'm eating, like for real cookout food for the most part. I don't know why cookout food I want a beer. I want a cold one, ice cold.
I have
Uh,
a freezing cold one, but someone gave me some Modelo. I heard Modelo is good. So that's the
yeah,
reason I said that.
Modelo's decent. It's a that's
Oh, okay. I
not
want to drink it.
trash. That's not trash. Yeah. That's not like a malt.
Okay.
That's not trash.
Yeah, because I was like, that's why I was like, I don't want to drink it, and I'm gonna be like sick and stuff, like feeling all crazy and blah.
But
But
nah,
yeah, I
yo,
got a
damn, what
Modelo.
was I saying? Because I almost forgot.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
What was I
Um, well, I don't know. What were you talking about? Let me rewind it. Hold on.
something good too? I can feel it. I was about to drop something. What was I just talking about?
I forgot. That's why I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt
Dang
you.
it, girl. Um. Anyway, yeah, maybe it'll come back to me. If it comes back to me, I'll go ahead and throw it in. Um. Yeah,
So
I
the
you though.
importance of a father and being with your having that parental support in your family. In your life. That's
Oh, I'm back. I'm back. Okay, we back. We back. That's what I'm talking about. I know a bunch of my homies and homegirls who grew up and they did not have dad in the home, and
mm-hmm.
they still turned out to be awesome individuals. They actually turned out to be great parents themselves and everything because of the village. Even though it wasn't in the house, that's why I believe they say it takes a village. Not necessarily here, I need you to take my kid and watch him and buy him gifts real quick because I can't afford it. That can be it too. But I believe the raising, it takes a village to raise the kids, to raise the children comes
Mm-hmm.
from even if you don't have that influence in your house. A lot of us was able to step outside our doors and it was somebody from a coach that we had, from a certain teacher, an uncle. I'm talking about one of our homies' dads who we're real close
Mm-hmm.
with, who take us on trips with them and everything else. So we
Mm-hmm.
actually did have that a lot more. And I believe that once we became real individualized in how we live, that's where a lot of that broke down. And that's why now we're strictly solely saying, where's your father? Was it said back when we were growing up to land it? Absolutely, it was being said. Even then, that's not something that's different. So I don't want nobody to get my words twisted. But what I am saying specifically is when it came to how people generally turned out, we usually had a lot more better outcomes when it came to the single family household because of the community and how much we were raised in. The community holds you accountable. My homie's mom could pull me by the ear. You know what I'm saying? Not beat me or spank me, but you know what I'm saying? But like they could damn sure yoke my ass up and be like, boy, if you don't get your over here, your mother don't want you. Wait till I tell Ashley. You know what I'm saying?
But
Like,
that was also based on, again, like, so part of the conversation that I had with my nephew, my sister, is part of it was there is the huge divide. That generation reaps the benefits of being raised of that what you just said, right? Because they're seeking that same type of village. But however, not but however, They don't offer it to themselves, and then we're the ones that's supposed to be doing that for them. We're the ones that's supposed to be snatching up little Pookie and little cute, little Quandarion and saying, "I'm gonna go tell your mama." But how can I do that when Smitty, you and I look as young as their mother? You know what I mean? And you and I are just like their mother, so they don't have. There's no divide of. There's no significant divide in age of that is
Uh,
obvious that they can
nah,
look and
it's
see.
not about how we
No,
look.
no,
No, wait.
I'm telling you. Let me tell you. Let me just finish. I'm telling you. You look. It's not. I'm not saying it's about how you look. I'm saying we don't look like our 50-year-old parents. We don't look like the 50-year-olds that from our time, right? So this generation right now is what we're talking about. These 30-year-old parents of these teenage kids, these preteen and teenage kids who aren't. They're not. We can't scoop them up and say, "I'm gonna go tell your mama." Because that was our aunties and uncles that was older than us for that did that to our parents, right? That remember you gotta look at the timeline we're talking about. We're just now in our 40s, in our mid 40s and 50s. So the people that are in that are not the exact spot back then, those were the ones that were 40 and 50 then, but there was a huge physical divide. The auntie that was 50 looked like the auntie that was 50. She didn't look as young as my mother. She looked older than my mother. The uncle that you're saying, the auntie that say, "Hey, I'm gonna go get your ass over here if I go over here and tell Ashley." She looked older than my mother, so there was an automatic appearance of reverence, of respect, because she looked like an older. She appeared to be older. She didn't look as young as my mother. Me and you, our generation that's 40 and 50, look as young as though their moms. And some of us look younger than their parents. So to them, they optically, we don't. There's no automatic respect given to an elder because who is the elder in the room? Where are the elders? They don't look like elders. We don't look like elders, right? So we have that working in agreement to them not just outright being respectful because again, there's 30-year-old parents. Remember, they're those some of the what I learned yesterday was that generation is craving what we got. The benefit of I'm finna
So,
go tell your mama if you don't act right because of the representation. It was a big deal to that generation who you represented. When I was talking to my nephew and other kids that's like him, there's no concept of me representing you outside this house. It's no because if it was Smitty, we wouldn't have these kids acting out the way they're acting because they would be embarrassed. They would be afraid to embarrass their parents. We don't, and then the 30-year-old parents, they want that from those kids. Those kids don't possess that emotion so that they can be a disgrace or embarrassed. Not all of them. We're not saying all the kids. We're just saying some of the ones who are acting out and getting in trouble, and they don't care if their mom is disappointed about how they look. There's no such thing as you got me out here looking crazy in these streets. No. Some of the moms do that, but for the majority, those people are not displaying, "I'm embarrassed that my mother is ashamed of me right now because I was out here stealing cars." They mamas don't care about all that. And they know their parents don't care about all that. So that's what I'm saying. It's not about how we physically look like that, but they look at you, meaning you look young. You look as young as their father. So when they look at you and they say, "Actually, I'm supposed to respect you, it's meaning because if you're a 40-year-old man, my father's a 30-year-old man or a 20-year-old man. You look as young as my dad." Whereas before, we had to respect Miss Big Mama because Big Mama did look like a Big Mama and she looked older than my mama. She acted older than my mama and she was older than my mama. There
but
was
you
a
know
clear
something?
divide. It was a big divide.
Wait.
Okay.
Okay, let me get in there. Let me get in there. Let me get in there. Because you've been cooking. Let me get in there, please.
That's all I had to say about it. Go ahead.
I do not agree all the way because, like, yo, I remember my father told me, he said he was 28. Me and my dad was the same age when we both like I had Phoenix when I was 28. My dad was 28 when he had me. And I have an older sister. You see what I'm saying as well. And so he was even younger. So my father was like 23, 25 when he had kids. No, like 21. 'Cause, yeah, Kim. Yeah, she's like 7 years older than me. So yeah, all right. So anyway, look, my point is my mom was in her 20s. My dad was in his 20s when they had me. And you know what? I don't ever remember them being anything than what we remember like TV parents being, like just structured household, no dysfunction. So my point is, when you talk about age wise, nah, our grandparents was getting married like at 19 and stuff like that. So they've always had that image of maturity. It's something about nowadays what we believe, because listen, they stripped us the ability to spank the kids at any age. So now what we're trying to do is compromise, and we're too focused. I'm dead ass. This is my thought process, is that
Mhm.
we're compromising, we're too focused on trying to be their friend. So now when you say that, okay, even though I look older, like, nah, I can tell you right now, if you was around me and just like my nephews and them, when they come around, it literally is the respect that I remember giving our elders. Hey, OG, how you need this? Hey, you want me to grab that for you? Oh, but like it's a respect. It's a respect. But you know what? It's also reciprocated because I don't treat them like they little niggas. I treat them like young men. I recognize where I was when I was their age. I speak to them in a manner in which I'm making it very clear there is a separation in that gap when it comes to experience in life, but I can relate to whatever it is y'all talking about because I've been there, done that. I know where you coming from. And they actually do defer to me and ask me questions when it comes to counsel at times, depending on what it is. Right. So my
Mhm.
point is that us having that dynamic of image when it comes to uh those who are in the community, those of us, me, you, all of us who are in the community, because you know what I hear a lot to land it, I hear a lot of the the older women don't want to pass down no information to the younger to the young ladies. Those
I can see that sometimes it's not like you're not in, and to not even saying you're my competition is, it's almost, but it's gonna be like it's gonna be cast in pearls before swine. You're not gonna do anything with it. Um, 9 times out of 10. And then if I guess if the woman was jealous or insecure, she's not gonna tell you how to take her man from her, because the older men only want the younger women. So I'm gonna give you advice so that you can go be a younger woman to my older man.
hmm hmm I see what you're saying.
I'm gonna tell you the tricks of the trade so that you can reduce my odds. Go learn, can be done with these young dudes. That's what you need to do.
So with that being said, right? So on this one right here, what I have is, how has social media and technology changed how young folks develop emotionally and socially, right? As opposed to how we grew up in the 80s and the 70s, the late 70s and early 80s. So again, how has social media and technology changed how young folks develop emotionally and socially compared to how we grew up in the late 70s and early 80s?
How has it changed? How they develop?
How has social media and technology changed the dynamic of how they develop? Yes. Comparing, basically, we didn't have the gadgets like how they do. We had some, but we didn't have it how they do. We were still outside. We were still very much so imagination in our head. We were coming up with games. We made up games. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like a lot of people need to.
Because there still was technology. That's the part we keep forgetting or we keep neglecting to remember. There was still technology. We just wasn't privy to it by premise of by grounds of what your financial level, right? So whether you can afford to have the electronic doodad versus the manual doodad, that was going on back then. It wasn't that nobody had technology back then. We had technology. We didn't have social media.
Nah, but see,
Um,
no, no, no. You know what it is though, real
I
quick,
mean, we
mate.
had computers, we had cell phones, we had mobile phones, we had pagers at one point, and then we had mobile phones at one point. We've had computers for a long time. So, you know, it's not like that people could not, that was a factor, how it changed things, how it changes interactions over time. I think you need to divide that up though. Like, how does technology um versus social media? Because, like I said, to me, technology's been around. Obviously, it's been around a lot longer than social media. Um, and it slowly, kind of slowly changed things, right? Because it was, like I said, if it was a factor of who had money, you had the digital this, you had the. I remember going to my homeboy's house. Um, I remember going to my homeboy's house, and he had the look, you guys, I'm gonna tell y'all I'm old now, right? He had the tell me if you remember this, Smitty. Remember it was the okay, so remember we had CDs, right? And we had DVDs, right? But remember before that we had the big like DVD. It was like they were album size, they were like a record, they were huge, and they were movies on them. And I would go over his house and he had like the I had a VCR. That's how old I am. I had a VCR. He had like the whatever Dolby Sound, HD something CD. It was these big. I'm gonna have to find it. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna find it and pull it up so y'all can see what I'm talking about. It was those big ass like video. I don't know what the hell they were called. I forget what they were called. Um, but back then, that was technology. You know what I mean? That was like, oh my God, that was like the thing to have. Or and then even then, when folks went from like just having the technology of went from DVDs to I mean CVD VHSs to digital, right? The technology's been around, but back then it was a clout of who can afford that. So it separated us as socially, even if you can still hanging out with your friends. It's just that you were hanging out. Now there's friends with money because they got DVD players, and some folks still have VHS players, you know, so it was a divide in that way. Now everything's the same. Everybody, you know, you need all these devices just to communicate. So now everybody has a phone because even back then, everybody didn't have a cell phone or a mobile phone or a phone in their car. Because remember, before mobile phones came out, there were, I mean, before the like handheld pocket phones, there were phones that you can attach to your car. You had to take it in the house to charge it, and you had to
Oh,
bring it out.
you had folks. No, you were
Mm-mm.
fancy back then if you had a cordless was fancy.
Well, before the cordless, I'm saying if you had everybody back then, even everybody had a wall phone. But as far as who had a phone that hooked up in the car, remember the car phone? You come in the Cadillac and it'd be right in the little middle of the console. Everybody didn't have that. That was a slow crawl. And then it came down to the house phone. Everybody's phone was on the wall. But some people had a rotary phone still. Some people had that rotary phone, and then some people had the push button phone, but it was still shaped like an old school rotary phone. That was a shift, right? So that was technology like, oh, you got a push button phone versus a rotary phone. And then they went from the rotary to the push button or whatever to the, like you said, the cordless. You was high tech and you got money, you got to get you a cordless phone. So even back then, if you were up in technology, it was because of your financial status that allowed you to be there, right? It wasn't because you was better than anybody else on no other level, right? It just meant because you just had a teeny bit more money. Now everybody has a phone. Everybody has some way of communication, tablet, computer, laptop, desktop. I remember at one point everybody only had a desktop. You know, there wasn't too many mobile, laptops. Even back then, laptops were bulky. So the idea of it, of technology really playing a big part in how much we change and how we develop and how young people develop, it's not been a big deal up until now. I remember did you remember when Nintendo Net came out and the kids were going into the hospital and because they had a crook in their neck because they would be laying on the floor playing Nintendo, and then some kids had like calluses on their thumbs. Well, that's when technology started to actually affect their development, when they were sitting on the games instead of going to school. Um, even hitting up social media like back into MySpace before the Facebook, back in the Black Planet days when people were, I am, AOL chatting each other. Even then, folks probably weren't. This generation wasn't staying at home, Smitty, instead of going to school to sit online and talk to someone. That wasn't the thing. You know what I'm saying? Sit at home and play a video game to like conquer the levels. Because even then, it wasn't online gaming. It was individually just you skipping school to go home and play your video game so you could get at a higher level than your homeboy, so that you broke the next
But
level. So
hold
that changed a whole lot. That changed as far as we don't even have that same dynamic interaction with technology anymore. You know what I mean? Everybody it's an even playing field. So that's why I'm saying back then the development was different because everybody couldn't afford necessarily a game or a Game Boy or whatever. Now everybody has something. Everybody has an Xbox, a PlayStation, a tablet, a phone, and the playing field is even. So now it's really all about development and how it's messing with you growing up. Because
but
back then it wasn't really making a big, it wasn't really a heavy effect. Because you can get up from the game, turn it off, and go outside. You get up
right.
from the game and turn it off and go outside. These kids literally have Twitch on their phone, so they never leave the game. The game goes with them all everywhere.
But see, listen. All right. So again, the question is, how has social media and technology changed how young folks develop emotionally and socially? So I'm asking, how has that changed how they develop? And
That's what
so,
I said. I'm saying
watch this.
it's changed. Go ahead.
What? No, I'm like. So I give you an example. So like, for example, I would say in the sense of like, it's made them more socially awkward. Like I would say, communication skills have gone down. They don't know how to really hold conversations how we used to. Like that was our thing. We couldn't wait to get on the bus to talk. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't wait for lunch period or PE or whatever to talk. You know what I'm saying? Homeroom, the whole nine. Everything for us was about us talking to each other. So I would say that the social media and technology has made them more secluded.
That's why I said, so for me I have to separate because technology's been here. So we can't say social media and technology because technology has been here and it's affected kids along the way, their development along the way. Like I said, we went from people skipping school to going home to play Mike Tyson Punch Out just to win the next level because there was no online interaction and it wasn't kids were not focusing on being a better gamer than my homeboy or now they're talking to each other on the game. Whereas they're opting out of actually deciding on a career in life because they can be a professional gamer. That wasn't that. So technology, I would say, has you can't. I wouldn't include that. I would say how has social media affected them more so, but technology's been here. So you know what I'm saying? There's because if we wouldn't have these grown-ups. There would be no Facebook if technology wasn't here. If we didn't have Mark Zuckerberg being a nerd, you know what I'm saying, or the people that helped them. So I understand. I'm saying that for me, I have to separate because technology's been around and it's affected them along the way. It made the parents that created the kids. But the social media right now is what you're saying. It's made them reclusive. It's made them,
Yeah,
they don't interact with each other because of social media now. There's no outside social. It's social media. There's no social. There's social media now. There's no school dance social. There's a Zoom class social. You know what I mean? That's different. Technology's been here. Computers been here. Laptops been here. Games have been here. Communicating online has been here for a long time. Way back to AOL. To for us, for ours. You know what I mean?
you need to see.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
okay. No. You good? No, I'm getting my hair done now. I told you I was gonna be getting my hair done. All right. So
Yeah, yeah,
look,
yeah.
this is my thing, right? I believe. All right. So if you think about it, when you say technology has been here, yes, we did have Nintendo. We had cartoons, TV, anime, all of that growing up as well as an '80s baby. But we weren't. It wasn't overstimuli. See, the thing is that, like you said, like for example, cartoons was on for a certain window throughout the day. You had to
Now
catch.
they're streaming. They're streaming
You
cartoons all day, 24 hours.
know what I'm saying? Like everything we did, even on like video games, whatever, most of us had like either some kind of like bedtime or whatever. Like we had to put certain things down. So like what I'm saying is that nowadays I believe the technology is definitely giving them it's overstimulated. For example, that's why they don't find games like, man, I was talking to my nieces and nephews, this was about 4 or 5 years ago. And I would never forget we was at a cookout. Now they are all around the age. Now, see, I'm that like real fun, cool ass uncle and older cousin that like still is like, real youthful at heart. So I'll play with the kids and stuff like that when we go to the cookout and stuff. I'll spend time with them, like, help them like use their mind and stuff, right? And I remember I said, we're gonna play freeze tag. And they all looked at me and said, what's that? They said, "What's that?" They had no clue of what freeze tag was. So my point is that because of the overstimulation, all of these little things that we used to do that still, like, even though we had Nintendo and Sega, we still played dodgeball, we still played hops, we still played hopscotch, double dutch. We did all of those things still, and that's what kept us in a certain mode, is what I'm saying, beloved. So you're right. We did have the AOL and all that stuff, but we still was outside with it.
Right. I think I said that too. I said, unfortunately, the difference is the that we had to put the game down to go outside, because remember, even just with that, okay, just look at that little window component of the game and being outside.
Right.
We were still coming off the generation of, remember, our parents came from the parents of, they had to go outside. So our parents, me and your parents, are 40 and 50-year-old who got, our parents are 70 and 80-year-olds now. Those are the parents that was go outside, that was whether, and again, whether or not you had a video game. We may, kids our age may or may not had a video game of any kind, right? Whereas kids today, they have multiple video games, multiple tablets, multiple, Nobbies and no tablets and ABC mouse stuff, where you may have may not had a video game, and then if you did have one, you had one house console game that everyone shared. So the idea of it wasn't just your game. It wasn't just in your room. It was in the family room TV, or it was in the living room TV where everyone had access to it. That pocket, look at that pocket right there by itself. It wasn't your game. It was probably for everyone to play with if you had
Yeah.
siblings. So the idea now, that same kid, think about the 13-year-old back then and the 13-year-old now. That is his game. Oh, no one plays it but him. It's in his room. Just that pocket of being able to have to put the game down and go outside. You had to put the game down to go outside to build back the competition with your homeboy to go back and upgrade yourself on the game. Now you can just put the headphones on, you put on your Alienware, and you talk to your homeboy to build that same competition to go back and play the game.
Yeah.
Even
But
then, hold on, one more, hold on. Let me wrap and land it here. Even then,
go ahead.
you were the parents today give the kids the game, and they're this back to that softer concept. They're so soft parenting, and they just want the child to develop and be who they're going to be. That if that child is now saying, "Hey, I don't want to go outside," they don't have to. Where we had to, it was shut the game off. The mamas were unplugging it, taking it away, and making you go outside. So and then again, like I said, remember, you had to wait for the magazine to come in the mail or pick it up at the GameStop to get the code for the next part of the game. You weren't even progressing in the game without interacting with your friends first. So now none of that has to happen. I can stay right here on my couch and put my headphones on and click on the live button and go to Twitch. And if I want to leave my house, Smitty, I just upload the Twitch on my phone and I take it with me, and I'm still with you on the game.
Nah,
I
but
never leave you. You know what I mean? There's no break. We don't create no break. We had a break. The parents made us take a break. So that's how it don't, I don't know, it don't parallel to me, because none of the elements are there. The parents aren't making them get off the game. They're not taking the game away from them. They're not making them go outside and play with. Some kids live in an area where ain't nobody to go outside and play with because they live in an apartment building that's off of a main highway type of shit, or they live in such an area where there are no kids, or it's not safe for them to play outside. So all those elements are factors that we didn't have to deal with.
right.
You know what I mean? We had to go outside because the mama was making us go outside. Or you had, like I said, you had to go outside to go talk to your homeboys to get to the next point to go back to play the game so that you can get the win. Because you was competing against your homeboys. You don't even have to go outside now. You can put your headphones on and go live and talk to someone that's literally next door or across town or down the street or in the next country.
Yeah.
So I digress with that.
Well, no, Mike is muted. What I'm saying is this, right? Like, you're on point with that, even down to how games are designed. I remember when we had multiple controllers, of course, and you would sit down on one TV and play the game. And just like how you were saying, even with the gaming, how that has been, I believe, it's been engineered and designed to make the kids more separate, because you have to be on a different TV at your location on your console in order to even play certain games with your friends. So they don't have it to where like there are a lot of games that are set up, and they did a study on it where they said a lot of people prefer nowadays to have solo games and not co-op games. You see what I'm saying? So that's why you have a lot of games that's set up now where it's really designed as one player. Where back in the day we had up to two, three, four players that you could do on depending on the console and stuff, from a Dreamcast and everything else. But I believe
But even then, Pineapple, didn't your friend come over to your house and hook their controller up to play with you?
no, it was the other way around, but yes.
Okay, well, you went over your friend's house with your controller to play with them. The
Yes.
whole idea was then you get out your house to go take your controller to go play with your friend.
No, no, no. Usually, no, no, no. The friend that had the games, they had everything. They had the gun to go with it. They had everything. You
Oh,
ain't got
you was what you have. You trying to say you had bougie friends? Okay, Smitty was with the out there with them white folks. Who is it? What was his name? Brad. Brad and Tony.
I didn't have it in particular. Like I was always the one like, I would get a Nintendo by the time Sega came out. I would get a Sega by the time PlayStation came out. And, I was always like three consoles behind. Like I never had any of them like right when
On
they.
time, right? Me neither. I was still playing my Nintendo. My nephew came in and was like, Auntie, you still got a Nintendo? I said, it still work. It's at my brother's house. And I was like, it still works, don't it? Look, you had to blow the cartridge off for it to work. Wait, look at what main event said. He said them games need to cool off back then too. Nowadays, their games they don't never get turned off.
But
Now
what's
that it goes for days turned on. Yep, the game will be too hot. You had to turn it off, so you had to turn it off to go to just leave it to just to come back and play it, or you had to check this out. What about the considering factor that everything is ordered online, right? I order all my games online. I pay $69 and I get my Minecraft or my Monster Hunter or whatever, right? But back then, your game didn't work. You had to blow it out. It didn't work. It didn't work. Guess what you had to do? You had to leave the house to go to GameStop to get another one, or go to your homeboys to get his game. Either way, it forced you to interact and leave out the house, interact with your friends to even play the game. I remember my brother sitting on the porch with his boys reading them magazines, doing them up, down, left, right, them Street Fighter codes and stuff, just so they can go back and play the game. You know? Go ahead.
No, I was saying up, down, up. No, up, down, left, right, select A, B, start.
And what's that one? The underneath, the right, left, right here. This one.
Yeah, and I'm talking. I have not played that game since I was probably about somewhere around 8 to 10 years old, and to this very day, I still know.
Remember that code? Mike Tyson plays out up, down, left, right, start, and then the little trigger. Right,
So,
left.
A, B, start. Like literally in that order. You won't get the 30-man life code if you don't.
And then wait, what about for Mario Brothers? You had the same thing for Mario Brothers. It was doing the same thing in the book, like, okay, left, right, dun it. And you go, oh wait, you're looking for the tunnel with the get to and go down in the tunnel and get all the coins. Then you come back up and go back down there on the tunnel and get all the coins again, because every time you go back up and come back down, it resets. It's like dun it.
I'm gonna tell you right now what it was for us. See, the thing is that we actually had to really sit there and beat the game, because when they first made them, we didn't have like these memory cards. We couldn't save it. We didn't have that. So it's like we literally had to sit there and go through until we finally beat the whole game. Because if you turn it off,
Oh no.
over. You see what I'm saying? Like it wasn't no saving anything, coming right back to the spot you left off. None of that. So again, even down to the concentration factor, like we had to really go through.
Oh yeah, and that's why I'm saying that even the development. That's why I'm saying the development now is gonna stay. They're gonna stay arrested, right? They're gonna stay in a stuck state, because that's why I said, remember back then when the kids were being brought to the hospital for Nintendo neck, they were getting crooks in their neck because they were sitting there laying on their stomachs, watching the Nintendo, the game, and being on the game for hours. They were getting calluses on their thumbs to the point where, it was painful. So even in real life, they were experiencing some sort of physical effect of it, right? The development. It wasn't quite developmentally
Sister,
affecting them yet.
my sister, the one I told you that's the computer geek who's gonna come by and hook up my keyboard for me. She because she's been on like I remember she was like real addicted to some game called Sims.
Yes, everybody had a Sims attack. Yep, they were
Then
addicted to the
she,
Sims. Yep.
in there she basically developed carpal tunnel.
Yes, yes.
Um,
It was serious. People were going to the hospital like
yeah,
hurting because they were playing video games. So back then, during that time, it wasn't that was the developmental effect, right? That was the thing that was affecting them. They were physically being affected. Their necks were hurting. They were getting pricks in their neck. They were getting calluses on their thumb. They had carpal tunnel. They were, but now all that is second. And even back then, to have a gaming chair was a luxury. So you sat on a regular your mama uncomfortable ass. You made yourself a pallet so you could lay there long enough to play at the video game. Now you have a comfortable gaming chair that's ergonomically designed for you to sit in it and lean back and lay there for hours and not have to even put any pressure on your spine or your back, right? The worst thing you have to do is get up and walk around and have some blood circulating through your legs. But God forbid, everything's created. The chair has cup holders in it. It has access for you to even plug your USB port in there so you can keep your headphones charged up. There's no reason for you to even get up from the game unless you got to pee. And if you're smart, you just get you a little pee bottle. And that's what they end up doing, right? Because now we have
you
men
know,
who are built like a wisdom tooth because now they have sat in the house so long and now they're freaking literally built with looking like Mr. Potato Head with legs and they're becoming gamers. Not shade to the professional people that are gamers because yes, they built a career out of it. We're talking about the folks that it had literally stunted their physical and now their mental development. And then they're adults now, Smitty. The kids are doomed if these are the adults. These are grown ass men who don't want to get up from the game. So now, how are you going to convince a child when they don't even see it happening in the world? You know what I mean? So go ahead with that.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it is. Now you're right. It is about the raising. It's about the upbringing when it comes to that factor. I would say more than anything. But look, I'm trying to figure this out. Like when we're talking about, I guess you can say more than anything, the interaction part. Like, see, the thing is, even down to stuff like board games, uh, cards, things of that nature. All of these things that we had back at that time, like you had to interact, you had to talk to, you had to, like your turn, everything else. So the way it's all designed now is that everything is like more individualized, like it's literally set up that way. So, you
It's
know,
created for you to stay solo,
I
which
am.
is kind of messed up because now those kids don't learn anything.
Well, no, it's not that they don't learn anything. They do. They're vicious at hacking shit and scamming. Like, but I'm
Right,
just
but they don't have any social skills. They walk down the street. When I tell
that.
you I saw that kid with his phone like this, y'all, walking down the street. Dude, he looked like this. Look, he had these big ass headphones on his Beats by Dre, and he's walking like this.
Yeah,
Walking around. How you can not? I'm not. I don't want nobody's baby to get snatched up, but if I'm looking for a target, he's not like he's not trying to not be one. You know what I mean? But he can be a whiz on the game. The kids can have a 3.8 GPA, and they don't have any social awareness. They don't have any environmental awareness.
I mean, yeah, just as much as they got a 3.0 GPA, they also got 5 stars in GTA. So I get what you're saying, like but again, it's just about how all of this is designed and set up now. That's the number one thing I focus on when I think about that. How was it set up? How was it designed? It is designed for them not really to like, yeah, they can talk to each other on headphones and stuff, but we didn't have to used to do that. Like literally, we used to sit there and it would be two of us on both the controllers right there together, and we're getting it in just like that. Now they still have some games like that. You got some co-op games, but they were talking about that on the gaming channels that I follow about how a lot of people have been demanding more and more solo games where like it's not co-op or anything else. And I believe that has a lot to do in a reflection on the lack of social skills that we have nowadays and how everything has turned out, especially after, you know what I'm saying, that whole C-19 shit.
So you think that was a real big effect? You guys, hey chat, you guys. I'm sorry, one real quick.
You
Hey
good?
everybody, I just want to say what's up and hello to some of the people that just kind of came along. Can y'all still hear me? Okay.
Right here.
Um.
Yeah.
So hey, what's up, main event? That's main event flow, main event. Um. Main event pro. That's Dr. Frizzle right there. Who else is in the building? I say, hey, what's up, the Cynical One? Hey, Mr. Center of the World. I keep forgetting, but that's Royce, guys. So if you guys know that's Royce. So anybody wants to know.
Oh.
They're like, wait, what happened to Royce? Same person. Sorry, Royce, to blow your cover, but hey. Eric Vaughn, what is it? Where's your face? Hey, Eric Vaughn, where's your face? Hey, y'all. Thanks for
Hmm.
coming by. Thanks for coming by, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us. There you go. Thank you for coming by and hanging out with us. Okay. Yay. All right. I just wanted to show love real quick and say what's up to the
But I wanted to
handful
say
of folks.
something to what you was talking about earlier when you were saying as far as like, you know, your nephew and the autism. You know, one thing I've learned from studying that they are like geniuses to whatever it is that they hone in on because they become almost like OCD with whatever it is that they study, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it really just kind of comes down to how they learn and what it is that they're learning. But whatever it is they choose to get into, they are absolutely like, you know, beyond like you would be amazed that somebody with autism invented this or created this or drew this or whatever,
Oh,
you
I
know.
know. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I think people need to remember that. Like, so when we think about the special facets and way people learn, that's why you have the three functions. That's why you have hands-on. That's why you have what is it? Hands-on, audio, and visual. You see what I'm saying? So it just
Mm-hmm.
depends on what that particular young person is going through with their autism. Because from what I know, it's not like it doesn't affect each kid exactly the same. Some kids just respond differently, and it's maybe a little more severe for others than some. But what I have noticed to land it is that man, when they got something that they're into, it's nothing you can do to pull them away from it, and they go into it full fledged.
Oh, yeah. And they'll have like a hyper focus, but again, some of them just to kind of drive it home, like have you heard of there's a show, I believe, I forget if it's what channel it's on, you guys sue me, I'm not sure what channel it's on, it's like Netflix or um uh Prime or whatever. It's called The Good Doctor, right? And it's a Doogie Howser kind of ish show because it's about a young boy
Mhm.
who is a doctor, but he's autistic, right? Again, also on the show Hawthorne, where Jada Pinkett Smith was the head doctor, right? The head nurse. That show has a African American man who is highly functioning autistic. The crazy thing is, he on the show, if you guys go back and watch Hawthorne, I love Hawthorne. He is literally like, I think he's like a brain surgeon or he specializes like in like the craniology of the mind, the brain, the actual physical part of the head, right? And
Right.
he's so amazing that only when they need a specialist. So he's like literally like House, but only with the brain. And he literally on the show, he is like the top in the state or top in the country, like the top 5 in the country. He was they have a thing called like it's a audio sensory um what the hell is it? It's like an audio sensory device, and it's the same process that they similar to like what they do in like war when they have like an enemy of the other side, and they have like the flashing lights, and they see words, and they have like pictures, and it's all this happening, right? And it's like this over sensory. So someone thought that in order to get an autistic person more to the normal side is to almost overstimulate them, right? Um, and that overstimulation will offset, like it'll almost, the thought process is that it would rebalance, it would kickstart their neurons to firing, right? So that it'll be firing in the right direction. Because with autism, they're firing in other directions. And he was fine, and the character in the show, he was fine for a few minutes. However, the irony with the autism meeting and that guy being the top surgeon and the top brain surgeon, or the top skull top brain surgeon, was that with him being autistic, him having the disconnect with their emotions. They a lot of times they're not able to read the room. We like what's the show with Sheldon, the show that has Sheldon on it. What's the show called? I
I
forget the name.
I only know older shows. I haven't. Yeah, I'm one of them. Like,
Well, there's a current show. The whole universe is in the top place. But it's a whole show, and it's the character on that show his name is Sheldon, and he's like, they make fun of him, but he's autistic as well. But I'm saying all that to say that even on this show with the doctor being autistic, the thing that made him such a great doctor was his disconnect to having the human emotion. So right, so a lot of times autistic people have a lack of connection to the whole fact that the reading the room and reading other people's emotions. They just kind of say certain things and do certain things, and people are like, "Well, damn, you don't have no feelings." No, they're not that they don't have feelings. It's that they don't have that connection that we have, like we don't. Sometimes they don't have that. So for him being a surgeon on the show, what made him such a great surgeon was his actual disconnection to the human, considering it to be a human. If he just worked on the brain and solved the problem that was wrong with the brain, he was made him number one surgeon in the country. The moment that he actually cared whether or not your life was mattering, he couldn't do his job well. So that's part of what that tick is that they have when with some autistic people. They're disconnected from their feelings or their emotion that they're supposed to have. That all that stuff that makes us crazy, they're disconnected from that to a degree where it makes them super hyper focused on everything else. They don't have to worry about how you feel about what they said, because if you don't like it, you just leave them alone and they're fine with it. Right? Or they're so annoying that we end up staying away from them because they're super ass rude. Ironically, that same doctor I was telling you about on the show, he had absolute horrible bedside manner, right? He was not the person to come in and tell you that your grandma just passed. He'd be like, well, your grandma's gone. Enjoy your life. So you can tell he didn't have no connection to the feeling of another person, but he did his job to the next level. It was beyond, bionic even. So to say that, with the autism, they do have the hyper focus. I can give my nephew, I can start rattling off numbers and do adding and subtraction and multiplication and division. And he does all that in his head, right? He's been in AP classes for like the last 3-4 years. He's been in AP everything since kindergarten. So at the end of the day, what's the sacrifice, right? Because again, he's a 13-year-old boy that he needs male influence. He needs that rites of passage as well, regardless of his condition. But the school system can't, and the community, the village can't provide that for him because where are the men?
Was saying that. That's why I was telling you, like, yeah, that's true. But no.
Well, I was gonna tell you what I mean by that with what I learned about the village. Their version of the village is different from our Smitty. Their version of a village is, again, this is a 30-year-old, 20-year-old mind versus the 40 and 50-year-old mind, right? And the village that we grew up in with, like you just said, you go out here making an act of a damn monkey, someone down the street gonna say, what Drake will I tell your mama on you? And you were actually afraid of them telling your mother.
Yeah.
This generation, these 30-year-old mamas, who are you telling and what they gonna do? Nothing. These kids aren't afraid of their 30-year-old, 20-year-old mamas. So there's no point of that influence is not there. Just like Frizzo said, it went from having home influence to now it's social influence. It doesn't matter what happens at home. It's what the world is gonna perceive on TikTok and how it's gonna look. I'm gonna look out in the world. So to go say You out here acting a monkey, disrespecting your family, disrespecting your mama's name. I'm gonna go tell your mother. The kid might say, "Go tell her," and then what? So that whole premise is not even there to even be implemented. So the way we approaching it is going to be way different. The 30-year-old mind is not trying to even hear that. They don't want you calling them and making them leave work to come pick your ass up from school because you got into a fight or you sick or whatever. They can't manage that. And they don't have that discipline that we had. But the kid is lost if they're at home because their life is structured around that school, right? So they're lost. Ain't no such thing as you stay at home and what you figure out what to do because they don't do chores. Back to that, remember they don't be doing stuff around the house because they don't know how to do shit when they come to work a job. So it's kind of like it all plays together. Next question.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because that's all I basically been saying when I'm thinking about like, back then when we were coming up. Yeah, the definition of village was different. Like how we say it takes a village to raise like the kids. And so even though there were a lot of us that didn't have dad in the house, it was somebody in the community, somebody in our family that really helped and made up for that image of a father-like figure or how a man should conduct himself and everything else. And a lot of that has been removed. And I don't know, things have really flipped and got weird in my personal opinion. It's a lot of abuse going on. It's a lot of manipulation and molestation going on. And it's just a lot of things that I believe taking place where like we're really messing up in that factor. But I also recognize that that's what's more so highlighted because, they never want to show you the good factors that actually go on every day out here. So I always keep that in mind. So it's just one of the things you got to continuously search and look for to see. Just like how when you asked me earlier to land it, Smitty, what you think about the background, right? And I'm like, oh yeah, I said that's refreshing. That's an image we don't see often. And I do believe that to be the case. Like it's a lot of things that we just don't have pushed in our face enough. So it just has everybody on edge, and we're no longer in the days where folks like to leave their doors open in the summertime.
Yeah.
But
You said leave the doors open.
Yeah, you got the floor. So
Oh, I got there we go.
Oh.
That's
Yeah, like that image right there, that's what I'm talking about. Like we don't see that often enough. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't, and if we do, it's something that folks try to think of to make wrong with it or whatever. Even if they gotta say, nah, that's just AI. It's like you're not gonna believe that can actually be the case.
No, that's why I said I was pushing so hard on it because my nephew he already knows he wants to go to the best school in the city because he said he already looked at his opportunity out beyond high school, right? He's like, how would I get into this career or get into this path? And then when they say that you got to go to one of the best schools in your city and they say, oh, you need to go to this kind of school that has this kind of curriculum that pushes you in this direction, he's already started looking at it and figured it out, and he's already made his decision. As the thing is, those kids are not around other kids that are like them. There's not enough group of those kids hovering around each other. It used to be back in the day like that. It's probably like that still now, but we're not kids, so we don't know what it's like in high school, junior high school, where if it's still that separation of the geeks and the nerds and then the jocks. Sometimes the jocks are the nerds too nowadays. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of smart guys on the football team and basketball teams and swim teams when I was in high school, and I'm pretty sure going forward that number probably changed drastically, but there were a lot of super intelligent, guys that that were athletes or in the chess club or one ROTC or whatever. So it's nowadays, according to what I'm understanding, that's not even a thing because of all the programs that they're taking out of the school system that they don't even have the same programs to even be involved in, let alone to even shine in. So now it's almost like a negative to be so smart. So part of one of the things that my nephew had to endure was being the smartest kid in the room at one time because he at one point he was the only kid in the school that got straight A's all semester, all year long in the top 3 subjects. So I guess if you get an A in reading, your English, your math, and your science or social studies or science or whatever it is, those are the top 3 core classes, the core subjects. He got A's all year long. So to graduate and go to the next grade with an A in that course, other kids, I mean, it's not like I don't know. It's because it's not like there's other all A, not like all the all A kids are hanging out with the kids that make all A's. That's not the case anymore. It's always been, you know, the one smart kid that's undercover with the hanging around with the group of kids that are wreaking havoc. And now it's even worse. So you don't even know who is the smartest kid in the group because they don't want to be smart. It's not cute no more. So he literally got into an argument with the kid because he wanted the kid to be quiet so he can learn. And who does that? When the last time you heard a child get into a fight because they wanted to learn? You know? So I guess I'm kind of, I feel a certain way behind it. Because that's crazy to me. I was like, I'm not punishing my nephew for fighting because he told the kid to be quiet so he can hear what the teacher was saying.
My bad. No. My bad. I came off of mute. I was saying I bumped my leg. No, my hairdresser wanted to add something onto that, but I don't know what was you saying.
Okay, so you gotta translate for her because we can't. I went back and listened to it. You can barely hear her, so whatever she say, you just say it
What
into the
you
mic.
saying?
I just dudes don't let their kids hang around. Like I just watched on Instagram, it's a guy who was talking about how Jews won't let their kids hang around certain things because they don't want their kids to be like other people. So they was like, if you got 4 friends that's investors, you're gonna be the fifth one because you gonna hang with them. He was like, we don't allow our kids to hang around people that make poor decisions. We make that decision for them. And I sent him the video. He made perfect point and everything he did. And they really are like that. Like they're very secluded in their community as far as how they want their kids raised and how they want their to come up. And they put that around them so that they can understand this is what we want in our life. And you don't have enough people doing that. They just throw their kids out in the society and be like, oh, whatever they become is whatever they become.
Oh, right. So you make it like like you're saying, like how some coaches make their kids hang around other kids that are going to be doctors.
Yep.
All the people that hang with each other. So that's like saying your son and my son hang out together, and both of our kids are in school to be, doctors.
Yep.
My son's gonna be an anesthesiologist. Your son wants to be a surgeon, and then
Yep.
and those coaches are doing that intentionally. They're making sure those kids hang out with each other so they can all stay up on each other. You're right. Yeah, absolutely. What's not happening is that we're not creating we don't even have friend groups for our grown asses. So we definitely cannot create a friend group for our child. And then at the same time, they're so afraid. I've seen so many videos when I went down the rabbit hole looking at stuff like this. There's so many videos where the parents are afraid of their child. I seen a young boy buck up at his mama and she like, stop it. Okay, sir. First of all, you know what I'm saying? The image in my mind was he was getting kicked all up and through his face and his nuts. He wasn't gonna have no nuts talking to me like that. However, you being afraid of your child to where you can't even push them or influence upon them to aim them in a positive direction and then God forbid if you have a JP as a child where he feels like you're changing him or you're running his life, like all that comes into play. Even though that has been going on since we were kids, because we told our parents that you trying to make me be like you, you trying to make me, run my life. And we realized that's not what the case is, right? And then what's so sad is those same parents also were kids from that also have parents telling them the same thing. So what happened? You grew up and now you don't want to raise your child, but somebody raised you. I'm confused, y'all. I don't understand.
But see, look, right? This is where I am, right? All right. So like the number one issue that we had with our parents was they didn't want to hear nothing outside of what it is that they were teaching us. Whatever they drilled in us, like we weren't really given the room to really create and think as much in our mind. Do you see what I'm saying? And nowadays, I believe that we're a little too loose and too lenient.
Yes. Yes.
Crazy on the whole subject.
Yeah, like we don't
You
parent.
gonna mess around and not parenting your child, trying to let him be free, and he don't be nothing. He grew up and be nothing. He's still in your same house. Smitty, I know what you're talking about because the kid is still in the same house, playing the same video game in his same room in his house because his mama never enforced it. So he ended up waiting for him to be developed into something. He never developed into nothing.
Because you didn't push it. You didn't push that narrative on him. So of course that's what it's gonna be. What
So
we don't
how you gonna be afraid of your child pushing back on you developing them when that's exactly what your mama did to you?
like our kids now, we have to give them something to live for. We have to make them understand that everything is not just given. A lot of people give up on that thought because they just like, oh, let me give it to them so they don't complain about it. No, we can't keep doing that because that's what it's gonna create the future adults that don't want to do shit.
And they don't.
My language.
And they don't. No, you're good. They don't. And they don't.
And then
And they don't, y'all.
it's so many adults out here trying to be friends with these kids, and then you got them killing each other, killing the parents, killing the what's the name. This lady shot her, I think it was
Delete.
15-year-old
You
son.
gotta
Or
say delete. You gotta say deletion. Delete online.
Delete.
something.
No, when you say delete instead of KI.
Oh,
Right.
the lady deleted her son because
Right.
he like you know how you could tell somebody like get abused by their kids or stuff like that, or they mentally abused them. So he was at her window yelling at her, and she shot him. And his sister's there yelling, "Some take her to jail, take her to jail." But you could tell this lady dealt with so much stuff from this boy just by the way she was like, "I didn't mean to." Like her sympathy was like her quietness showed you more
Was she
about.
light skinned
Yeah,
outside in the snow?
yeah, yeah.
I seen that.
And it was like you could tell she was sorry, but she wasn't sorry. She tired.
But just think about the boy. Remember the video that went viral with the young boy that called his mama and said, "Mama, I'm so sorry, but we just got video of him throwing rocks at his mama windshield." But it's the same boy with his face beat in juvenile hall because he got in juvenile hall and started doing that crazy mess and they whipped his behind. But that's
Hmm.
the same boy. She was crying and saying she feels so bad now. They in there beating her son up. But it's the same little nigga that was standing in front of you throwing rocks at your windshield.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's
I'm so
like,
sorry, but I'm trying to figure out what I'm supposed to care about.
yeah. They don't care about you. Why you caring about them?
And even segueing into that, I'm trying to get to the point where I'm not trying to say because we look so young, because it is sometimes it's about how you say what you say to these young people. But you're back then, our generation, you Smitty, you pulled your pants up and you said yes, ma'am, and opened the door when you saw that nana or that mima or that auntie.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm an auntie. Do you think folk hold the door for me because I don't look like nobody old ass auntie?
Nope.
So I ain't no mima. I ain't got no stockings rolled up to my knees and got a moo on. So I don't look like nobody big mama. So
Well, first of
even
all,
then, the idea of me like I was teaching my nephew. If you want to
mhm.
teach him to be a gentleman, you got to teach him to be a gentleman to all women. But what do we hear in this space, Minnie? We hear men, grown ass men saying, "I'm not finna be respectful to any woman that I don't cover." So now
Mm.
you got a 13-year-old out here hearing men say, who you really supposed to be nice to is your mama, your sister, and the women you care about that care about you. All the rest of these bitches, you don't got to worry about that. So guess what happens when they meet you and me at the door at CVS, ma'am? They don't hold the door for me and you because we are part of the bitches that they don't care about. So when I heard that, I was just like, so
That's
how is a 13 or 14-year-old supposed to be respectful to a in general to a woman and be a gentleman if he hears a man say, I don't have to be respectful only to the women that I'm covering, only my bitches, only my women, my kids, my daughter, my auntie, my mama. You know
some
what
of
I
these
mean?
women taking it too far though with trying to teach the kids that like and more so like these chicks out here now treating these little boys like they their boyfriend low key. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like you see the way they dress them. You
Yeah,
see
that's another problem.
you creating another problem in society.
Yeah, because
And
now he think he man in real life. He think
man,
he man
what?
man.
And he gonna beat up your boyfriend. Your boyfriend gonna have to knock him down to the floor because of how you coddled him all them years.
But guess what else he's not learning? He's not learning how to actually be a man. And then when he gets a girlfriend, guess what he does to his girlfriend? His girlfriend got to treat him how his mama did, which is Your girlfriend probably gonna be washing his clothes. I'm just telling you because I dated a man like that. I dated a guy who grew up, and that was him when he grew up. And he, oh, you do everything, my mom. Yes, because what you really did was look for another mama, and I fell for it because you was a man. You was the man of the house when your dad left. So now you think you the actual man of the house, but you never actually ever became a man. You still the boy of the house.
Yep. And it's because that's the narrative that those mothers created. Like everybody don't see that. Everybody don't see why these kids are like that. And just giving a viewpoint, these kids that we raising today are the kids that gotta take care of us. We're not gonna have nothing.
Nothing. Ain't nobody taking care of us.
Okay? You gonna
Hey, Mr. Music.
oh, no man. It's a false narrative. It's a very false narrative.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Me personally, I am terrified of the thought of who's coming up now. But you know
Mm-hmm.
something? I asked that question, right? So I asked that question, like, do you really have faith in the youth of today and them being able to take over the mantle? And a lot of folks are
No.
really saying yes. I was shocked. I'm like, are you serious?
Exactly. Do you see what's going on? Do you see what's going
Who?
on? You got 10.
How when you got a boy online, Smitty, putting on makeup, talking about they not finna send my gay ass to no Iraq, and I'm looking like, what?
I don't know
Do
what to
you,
say about that.
do you know if they want to send you and your makeup is going?
Okay?
Uh,
That's what budget.
what's happening? But he in the mirror like, what part? He said, look at me. I am 5'2" and 95 pounds. What army am I finna fight?
You gonna be
And I
Mulan?
thought, I said, well, at the end of the day, I had to think about it. Like, I'm not trying to be funny, but I literally look at that little boy like I'm looking at the video of that young man, and I'm like, you're absolutely right. I can't afford you to be on nobody's front line, sir, ma'am.
That's so man.
Who are you gonna protect? I feel like I weigh more than you right now. I'm stronger than you are right now at my age. And looking at you, yes, I'm just child. I don't know sometimes, y'all. I don't even know what to think sometimes. It just be making me so nervous. But go ahead, Smitty. You got
These
another
are
question.
Yeah, I've noticed that as well. I'm not gonna lie to you when I'm taking the time to like really look at like the change in the dynamics of just how a lot of this is ran, a lot of a lot of how things go nowadays. It's very different. The only thing is that I believe is that it's a change that a lot of us wasn't ready for because you
Mm-hmm.
always gotta know how to be able to change with the times, keep up and change with the times, right? Just so you don't get left behind, just so you still in the know, you keeping up with what's going on around you, be situationally aware. But like a lot of what's been taking place has really thrown off a lot of people because it's like out of nowhere they just flipped everything upside down.
who the team started a whole ride out.
Yeah. So that's the way I see that. You see what I'm saying? If you get where I'm coming from with that, at least Genesis.
Mm-hmm.
You know
It
what I'm
feels like
saying?
it's upside down.
Yeah.
Well, because think about it. Like as far as when you was talking about the elders and the youngsters, right? All right, so peep this.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, the authority aspect, and yeah, it's a lot of circumstances where the authority aspect is not being viewed how it used to because of what we've been talking about, us trying to be their friends and not being authoritative figures.
Mhm.
Us not doing that is what has lowered the bar. See, we lowered the bar. We lowered our expectations of how they're supposed to be around us, what it is they're supposed to be involving themselves in when it comes to,
BTA no more.
you see,
No
yeah,
more BTA.
you say no more BTA. Oh, belt to ass. Yeah, yeah. I mean, because, in school, like they'll take your kids if you spank them. So it's,
Oh yeah, I remember one of my friends, pineapple. I remember one of my friends
mhm.
emancipating from her mother at 16. She's been her mother. I remember her mother used to deliver the phone book. That's how old it was. And she used to sit, back in the day, back in the day when you used to be able to sit the kids in the hatchback and then leave the hatchback open and just drive, and they
Right.
would get out and drop off the phone book or the newspaper, whatever.
Mhm.
And she backed over her and ran over her daughter. And I guess the daughter, she always felt like her mom really never did like her out of all the kids. So she emancipated. She divorced her mom at 16, and she's been on her own legally since 16-year-old, 16.
Mhm.
It's possible if they really want to do it, but they don't. Our inner city kids and our youth of today are not being told that that's an option. And then finally, when the mom is divorcing them, I'm not trying to bring up, JP in this situation, but you have moms like him too, where I mean, y'all don't remember seeing that video too of the young lady who was
Hold
telling her
on,
son that she can't get a job.
hold on. Did you
What?
just say you got moms like him?
You got moms of the world. I mean, because he said he a baby mama,
Yo,
so
that
you
is
got the moms
wild.
like him. You
That
got
is
moms like him.
wild. Oh wow.
He said he's a
Wow.
baby mama. So I was going along with him saying he's a baby mama.
I ain't mad at you. Go ahead. Keep going. Keep
So
going.
so because you have moms like him, they also it was a video floating
Crazy.
around. It was a video floating around of a young lady telling her son that he can't get a job, and he like, yo, I want to be. For once, he want to be like his friend, right? I'm gonna see if I can find that video while we talking. I might bring it up
You
later.
can't get a job because she was getting Section 8.
Yeah, yeah. And she was pissed the fuck, like she was pissed, like thoroughly upset at this little nigga. Like, I will crack your head if you come in here with a job.
Yeah.
He was gonna be in more trouble having a job than he ever was going. He might as well went outside and stole a car and got someone pregnant. Not saying that I want him to do that, y'all, but she wasn't pissed off. She was pissed that he was gonna mess up her. He should not be that upset, and that child should not be affected by be dealing with that. That should not be in his face. And for once, you're telling me that you want to go get a job to be like your friends.
Yeah. She
Man,
told Beth not go get a job because he would mess up her housing and her food stamps.
yeah, are you crazy? And he like, come on, man, my friends got a job. We can go buy stuff. I don't gotta. I can get the shoes I want. I can get stuff I want. She was like, I don't care.
He was about to be making more than what she get on food.
Yep.
She was like, no, you're not. And they look like they was in a nice size house
And
too.
didn't even say he could help out and everything. She was like, no, that's gonna mess up my Section 8. They're gonna take away my art. Like, she more worried about that. So just imagine what that young man is now supposed to be framed into an older man, Smitty, and now he's supposed to go out here and be with your daughter.
Yeah.
And raise a family and not beat the hell out of her and not misappropriate his anger and not and be able to have emotional security and emotional maturity. He's supposed to have all that, right? From that right there we just saw that we know about. Are you crazy?
And wonder why society messed up. She rather him go sell a car, like you said, than get a job.
Usually it's the other way around. Get the fuck out and get a job. He's up here sitting in the house all damn day crazy. What the hell and what the entire hell? You know what I'm saying? Usually it's the other way around.
Yeah.
But in that case, how are we supposed to deal with this? Is what y'all. That's why.
She'll leave her house and she'll go get pregnant again just so she can have another child to keep up what they giving her.
You know what? That's a good segue. All right. So you ready, Genesis?
Hold on, we're gonna take a video break, and y'all, everybody look at the screen.
Oh. Okay. Go ahead.
If you go get a job, they're gonna take my Section 8. Then you won't be able to get no Section 8. You're not going to get no job. They're gonna count your income against my Section 8 and my link card. You're not working. No. So I don't care what you got to say. I don't care how you feel. You're not working. You're not going to get a job. You're not going to school. You're not doing none of that shit.
But Ma, I'm saying how I'm supposed to be successful in life, Ma. So you basically telling me I gotta be.
Not you sounding like a whole JP with estrogen. Period. I'm sorry. Had to say it. I've been waiting. Go ahead. I digress.
Gotta be broke to be. That's why I gotta be broke so I can get Section 8.
You gotta be broke so the government can help you.
So the government can help me. So you telling me I can't work no job, bro? Like that's like all my friends got jobs and live in nice houses. So you telling me I got to I got to go through the same thing you went through.
If you
have a
don't
house.
do any of that, they're going to take my Section 8.
How?
And I'm
What
trying
they
to
be
tell
like?
you
What
that
they
you
be?
can go get yours at ease. You can go get a
They will.
nice house.
No, they will look at that and be like, he's doing something and give me a bigger house, ma. That's what you told me.
Where I'm gonna go?
I don't
have no job.
I can get off your Section 8 and apply for my own Section 8.
But if you do that, you're gonna have to go the hard way. It's gonna take a long.
So what? That's what I'm
Wait
saying.
a few months, get on Section 8, find you a nice apartment, go get you a link card. You will be fine. You don't have to sit up and work. You don't have to work no job.
All right, you see this woman?
Child.
Well, I mean, that's
Diabolical, ain't it?
I mean, mom is telling him that that's his mother, right?
Listen, we heard this,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
JP said the same shit. JP said the same shit. Everybody has the same conversation of saying, why do you want your child to start back at zero when you did all this? There's no generational wealth. You can't even pass down a fucking EBT card. So what do you know what I'm saying? We just heard this man say the same thing. He don't want his daughter to meet no nice man that does better than him. He wants them to be set up for the same kind of failure that he's set up for. We definitely just heard the man say the same thing that woman said. But it's crazy because we don't know that woman said that. So they say, oh, no, it's just the internet. Is it?
Exactly.
Go
Yeah.
ahead, Minnie.
No, you good, because no, I literally had said that. I said that to him one day on the panel. I forget where we were. And I said, like, bro, you can't pass down EBT. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no generational wealth on EBT. And I'm not trying to, because he ain't here, but I'm just saying, like I remember literally speaking on that in the sense of, because my father always told me, as a man, you're supposed to leave a garden in the sense of leave something behind. Like when you go, they got something to pick from. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know nothing but that. So, but a lot of us, right? We're not hip to all of the measures that we should take. Like, I'll be honest with you. I didn't get life insurance for my daughter until she was about almost 14 years old. I just didn't think about it.
Didn't think it was worth it. We didn't know.
I just didn't think about. I don't know why. I just didn't think.
Okay, but Smitty, you never seen the Gerber life insurance commercial that come on at 0:00 ass in
all
the
the
morning?
time, but I just
we ain't think past
we
those.
not
We didn't think
yeah.
that was
That
nothing.
commercial every day.
Not even thinking about. I'm telling you, it took a while for me. Like, yo, yeah, I should really get like some kind of life insurance plan, some kind of CD, some kind of like make sure like I got my will in check. Like a lot of us, we don't think about that. Make sure that I don't have a bunch of debt that they're going to try to
Mm-hmm.
that's passed down, because your debt is passed down to your kids.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, like I'm thinking more so in that sense. So if I'm frugal, it's for a reason, because I'm genuinely thinking about the long run. Because I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if I'll ever like hit a number, become super wealthy, rich, or anything. But if it's one thing I can at least have, is a home that she ain't got to worry about a lien being on, a couple cars
Mm-hmm.
she can have, you know what I'm saying, and definitely, a nice hefty little check in the bank for to go ahead and kickstart it off and just allow that to grow from there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at with it, more so thinking about what it is I'm leaving behind. But that's why I wanted to ask you on this one right here, right? So
Mm-hmm.
right there, even with what mama was saying, right? Are we too easy on our kids and protecting them, or are we correcting mistakes we made in the past?
Mhm.
We're correct. First of all, what we just saw was not easy on the kid. That was not an easy on the kid situation.
Well,
That's
she's
not her.
to
She's not
work.
going easy. She's not going easy on him at all. That's not what that is.
But she said it's going to be a more harder, difficult, more road if you do it the right way. Nah, you need to take these shortcuts in life that the government
That
gave
they're
us.
giving you right now.
Right.
But
Which
that's not making it easier for him.
moment, which can be cut off if they decided to just cut that off, and then what do you?
No, but you're not saying, because remember earlier we said we were talking about my nephew, him having taken away his rights to being a man by his mama not letting him carry the groceries. You're not even allowing him to go through the passage. That's what makes because she ain't got no man. She got a baby daddy, right? We can see that. And she probably don't have no man in her life, and the man she probably have is a whole entire, dirty dick pookie. We can deduce that you don't have a quality enough man to
Why
take
he
you
got?
out of this lifestyle,
God dang.
right? Because he's not the quality kind of guy to take you out of this lifestyle because you still sitting here on this Section 8 housing. So we can kind of deduce some things like, maybe you didn't have, like a lot of us didn't have that actual male guidance that was in the right direction.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that's not allowing that little boy the rights of the passage that makes him the man, the kind of guy you really want him to be, or the guy that you want that you wanted to be with. I guarantee you that very woman wants to be with a good man now, but their son is trying to go be a good man. You're not even trying to create one, so that's not what that is, yo. That's not making it better for him. No. JP tried to play that shit too, but what you just did to your daughters is teach them how to just fuck around and find out.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't teach them how to go get nothing and do anything. You're not teaching them that you're making them start from zero, which means if they don't want to go that same route, they don't have no other options because what have they seen? That's a rite of passage for a little boy. That's the problem with the men that we run into as young, older women. And I'm just saying, Smitty, because you don't date men. You don't date. You're not approached by the dude who is this who grows up. The dude you don't meet the JPs where he got food in his beard and he up here smacking on his teeth in front of you, picking at his nose. Like this nigga never learned how to not be nasty in public type of shit. And we supposed to choose from that dude because that's who he grown up to be, a nigga that sit on the couch all day, that don't mind not working. But you got someone who wants to develop a work ethic and now we can't develop that because that's what that's supposed to look like. So no, that ain't helping shit. And I'm sorry, because I'm just saying, because as an adult, I run into that guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure old girl can say too, she done met a couple like, what the hell? Not saying that you better than another dude, but you done met a couple dudes like, how dare you walk up to me and say hi? Did you look in the mirror? Did you see yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Sir, you look like shit. You think that's cool. But they grow up thinking that. They don't even, you know what I'm saying? We have gotten all the way to the point, homegirl, where we realize that same dude, he don't even care about washing his ass. He don't care about his whole, you know what I'm saying? His the whole concept of caring about his self-care and his self-love just goes down.
Well, to steer it back into the general perspective of it, all
So
right.
no, they grow up to be shitty men. Let him go get a job.
Yeah, I got you on that one. Much respect, much respect. But all right. So my thing is, because you just went in, like you.
At the end of the day, that's what that guy ends up being. And we say, oh, did his mom just make it easier for him? He wasn't. We all agree that boys aren't supposed to have such an easy road because that's how they learn to become a man.
Right.
So they have to have some rocks and roads in there, and that's the wrong thing to take away. Is to go get a job and to learn independence. That's the wrong thing to take away. That's the wrong part to coddle. I'm not a mom, but that's the wrong place to me. To me, that's the wrong place to coddle him.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make it easier for him in life. That ain't it. But go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we already know how he operates and stuff. My whole thing is, like, let me ask you this to bring it back to the general. So, overall in society, do you believe that we have lowered our expectations, and we've lowered the bar, or do you think it's been raised more so? Because
it's low. It's hella low, man.
Can't lower something that they don't have at all. They don't have any expectations.
no,
It ain't no bar.
It ain't no, but that's how I just said he can't lower something that they don't have at all. They don't. These kids out here don't have an expectation. All they do is look for us to provide.
And there's so many instances where so much is done for them, Smitty.
Yeah.
Even the basic of living, like I've even hearing the kids say,
they're not putting into places to earn what they need to live for.
yeah,
So
there's no allowance, there's no work for no allowance. It's just give your kids some money so they can go stop asking you.
Leave us alone.
Leave us alone. I know a family who the mom load every time she get paid, she just load her kid's card. He
She
just put
just
money on his card so that he ain't got to keep saying, "Mom, can you DoorDash me? Mom, can I have a game? Mom, can I order this?" So she just doesn't even. So he don't bother her
I
with
do that.
about asking for money. He ain't
Chores.
did shit. He
No,
ain't did shit, y'all. He ain't did no chore. He ain't did nothing. He did nothing to earn no money.
Hmm.
Go ahead.
I
So
mean,
the expectation of what?
all right, but now remember, the question is, are we too easy on our kids and protecting them, or are we really correcting mistakes made in the past? So,
What
you know,
mistake? Whose mistake? Yours?
I mean, we come from them days of just, I'm gonna beat your ass, get in the room, and we don't talk to them. We don't know how to connect with them, communicate, so on and so forth. That's basically for the most part where we come from. So, do you believe that we're trying to be our kids' friends more so than authority because a lot of us have guilt from what our parents did to us? What?
Yes. Well, I mean, yes, because remember that started when once you moved out and got your own place. Remember that was the first thing we all said when I get out because we were so tired of our parents yelling at us about keeping the door closed and all that extra stuff, right? So that's the first thing you do when you really, and then you get then you get a real reality check and you realize this shit is not, that's not how it goes. But that's the first thing that we do is that the first thing we do, even as an independent person, before we even have kids, but the first thing we say is when I have my own kids, I'm not gonna do this to them. All right. So then if you get a whooping, you say, when I have my own kids, I'm not gonna whoop my kids. If you got punishment and had to like put, kneel on rice or whatever, when I get that's torture. When I get kids, I'm not going to do that to my children. So the first layer of that is first layer of that is the rebellion that you just do in general. You say, oh, when I grow up, I'm gonna leave the lights on and the door open and let the air out. And then you just kind of cycle on to the rebellion. You just go from there because there's the people who don't do that. There's people who say, my grandmama taught me to keep my door closed and I keep all the windows and door closed. So we're not trying to say it's the majority or minority of anybody, but that's the first layer of rebellion is that when they start saying, okay, when I grow up, I'm gonna jump on the bed. And then they realize they broke the bed spring. And then now they start realizing, okay, that's not how life goes. But some of them do that with their children all the way up until the point when they have kids. When I grow up, I'm not gonna do this with my kids. I'm gonna raise them differently. They're not you growing up and succeeding to be an adult, and a lot of times those same adults are may or may not be successful, but a lot of times they're successful, right? So you being a successful adult, being able to keep a job and pay a mortgage and pay your bills and take care of yourself is because of the way you were raised and whatever happening while you were raised, being reared, right? And you want to remove that very thing that got you where you are. And you want to
Right.
say, I'm not going to do that to my kid because I'd be damned. Okay, unless you are sitting up here confessing that you are a serial deleter and saying the reason why I serial delete is because my mama gave me a whooping after school, 30 minutes after school. Now that would be that would be the benchmark to say, okay, we doing too much or not doing enough with our children. But most of us survive an ass beating. For us to sit here and say we're not going to do that with our kids because look how we turned out. You're alive and you survived.
we're
You're
not
here. Go ahead.
we're not that bad, honestly. But I was just telling him, I feel like we're trauma bonding with our kids. Not to the point where we're loving them in the worst way, but we try to love them different so they don't turn out like we turn out.
But
So
that
it's a,
ain't how that's been working because the YN that's still the Kia boys that made a Facebook group because they was stealing cars through the city of Detroit. They mama friends at because they mama friends ain't paying no attention to them because they wouldn't be out here selling Kias.
that's so true, but I feel
So
like
how has that been working?
I don't know. I know in my instance, I had to change the way I was parenting because I felt like I was too lackadaisy with it.
Yes, because you survived the couple. Get your ass in here and shut the fuck up.
Oh
You
no, my
didn't melt. You
like that.
you didn't go delete yourself and sit up in therapy. I'm
Nope.
not saying that's wrong or right. I'm because everybody can lean on me and say, hey, you don't have no kids. So what you talking about, Genesis? But I'm sitting here watching your child flinch every time somebody says "woohoo" out of
Yeah.
excitement because we won a board game because they how they getting yelled at home and how you know what I'm saying. I'm watching the after effects. I'm dealing with that because I can't get this employee to work because he's 16 because his mama don't never make him do nothing around the house.
Yep.
So I can definitely have something to say about it when I see because I'm not a parent, but I'll be like, well, how come your mom isn't teaching you? How come you don't have no chores?
Basic life skills are negated in today's time.
There's none of them. There's nothing.
Like my kids take down the trash. They went over their cousin's house. Their mom was like, "Oh, my kids don't take down the trash." Her husband died, and it's like, okay, I want to teach my kids to do the best. I have old girls, so I want to teach them basic life necessities that should be done. They're the same age as my kids. She said her kids don't wash clothes. My 9-year old and my 8-year old definitely wash their clothes.
Mm-mm.
So I want you to understand how much effort it takes to get that light blue shirt you wear to school clean. That's
And
not
then
fair.
they need to pour bleach in the wrong shit so they can learn how to wash clothes.
Your favorite shirt is bleached now, so you'll
Now you
never.
learn how to wash clothes. You don't never dig. That's a every time that's a mistake happens. But see, that's the other thing too, Smitty. We not letting them make no mistakes.
Yeah,
These kids is when I tell you the worst part, I don't even know to say the worst part of it is when they are and people want to always say you don't that's not the same thing, Genesis, because you're their employer. This is where all the thing that you taught them, this is where all of it pays off at school and at work.
it comes out. It comes out 100% at work. Because guess what? You see how what they do at home. They in their workstation. They don't clean it up. They walk away. They do something
Yes.
and leave it out. You be like, oh, you do this shit at home. You definitely do this shit at home.
Go in the bathroom and blow it up and then don't and literally don't all kinds all the craziest things happen, y'all. Or just having no social awareness of knowing that there's someone standing there next to you, or didn't you see that old lady walking behind you? Oh, I didn't even pay attention. That little old lady damn near you almost took her head off, but when you turning around so fast. None of that is there. None of that is there, guys. And I don't want to be like giving up on the kids, but none of that is there. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
they
Not that whole
about that.
uh even like with the little boy that his mama got, remember the little boy in the chicken shack and when he went to the car, I mean, to think about his resolve was I gotta blow this nigga head off. Like he yelled at my mama.
That hit his mom. Yeah.
Yeah, like but the end resolve was not fighting him, not standing up and manning up. There's
Mm,
none of that. It's 0 to 60. It's I'm a delete you. Because that's my conflict resolution. And the only thing I learned is if I watched the game and the game said delete the person that there's a problem.
Oh, fighting's done.
yes, nobody fight.
Ain't
Fighting
no
is
even getting your mama up out of there and calling the police and waiting to have none of that. Just I went to the car, got the
No,
click clock, and took you out of here.
yeah, like it was a button.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
it. It's
Fighting,
crazy
fight.
though, right? It's crazy, y'all. Go ahead, y'all. Y'all can talk.
No, no, I got you. I'm just saying that yeah, fighting is over with. We that's not something that goes on now. So yeah, the dynamics have definitely changed and how it all operates when it comes to encounters like that now. So there is much more of a fearful of a fear factor that comes with it. Like because I'm gonna be real with you, folks was like, who are you more scared of, folks your age or folks who, or the youth? And I'm like, both, because we out here acting just as worse.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, my whole thing is what it comes down to is like mental health stability. Like that's really where I am with a lot of things. Like we do not have like enough of that. There's not enough mental health stability. Telling you.
Mental health accountability either. Like
Well, I
people holding
mean,
people accountable for what they not doing and what they are doing.
well, that's where I mean by the stability though.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're not stable because they're not in the right environments to be, what I'm saying, monitored and stuff. But I'm gonna be real with you, seriously, Genesis. A lot of this that we see going on has a lot to do with where resources and funds go to, you know, speaking about it from that end as well. So we can't ignore that as well.
Resources and funds of what? Because there are some people who have who are fine. It's just that the way that they deem rearing their children is by throwing the resources at them. Those are the kids who are in everything and still are mentally disheveled. Those are the ones who are their schedule is filled with activities. They're in they're in what is it, aqua tots. They're in summer camps. They're in computer classes. They're in, they have cousins and family friends to go visit. They have summer camps and winter camps and all this, and those kids still hang themselves from the ceiling fan.
Right.
So it's the resources is not,
And
because the ones without the resources, I saw a clip the other day. The guy said, I'd rather be poor and know that my family loved me, because it seemed like when you broke, all you have is love, then have money and then not be loved. Don't know if you loved or not.
Nah, see, that's
So it's not
that's.
about the resources. It's not about what you got
I
to give them.
mean, that's also people taking things too far in the sense of, it's not the money that makes you evil. Like I said, for example, like me, I'm very much so a giver. So if I get money, that's going to exacerbate my giving. I'm gonna be doing all kind of like philanthropy, and I'm gonna be doing all kind of charities and giving and everything else because I'm going to want to look out because I'm able to. I'm talking about within my means, that is, right? I'm not going to break the bank, but within my means, man, every chance I get, I'm going to be giving. So it's not the money that would make you evil. It's the love of it. It is the actual lusting for it. It is like you not recognizing that you can be content with what you have. Is really where all of that comes in. That's all I wanted to throw in real quick. You know what I'm saying? But go ahead though. Nah, you cooking.
Yeah, I'm not trying to cook. But yeah.
I know, right? She said, "No, I don't go in the kitchen. I don't.
not today.
No,
No.
I'm not even cooking on the panel. God damn it! It's all good. It's all good. Nah, I'm just saying. Nah. You was on that one. But all right. So basically, you're leaning more towards we're not correcting, or are you? You know what I'm saying? Like which side are you leaning more so in that question that I asked?
No, we're not. Correcting what?
Hmm. Okay.
Because the correction would have to start with their parents.
Yep.
The correction has to start with the 30-year-old right now and the 20 somethings. And I'm not saying nothing against the 30-year-olds and 20 something, but these are 20 and 30-year-old people with teenage children, with preteen children. Because if you got an 8-year-old or a 6-year-old, you're good. You got room to develop them before they hit that. It's that teenage years, that YN stage, and when they start to get out here and they're roaming the world by themselves. Um, that's the part. So it's those parents of those kids. That's the correction has to be with those parents.
Yeah, but all right. So listen, right? I'm not gonna lie. There was a large part of me that did say to myself when I had Phoenix. I mean, me as a dad, I don't really want to spank you because I know what it's like, the screaming, the crying, the awkwardness of it afterwards, and sweating and breathing hard, and something might get broken because you trying to get away from me. I don't have time for all of that. So my approach, like I said, was much more of how my parents was. Like I would just remove what I know she value. Like she loved that tablet. Yeah, I'm taking that. That's hitting for about a week. You know what I mean? So I would hit her where it hurts. But my whole thing is like you don't really believe that how we're going about like trying to discipline, right? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I believe that we're really on a road of not being. Well, it's deeper than mass destruction. I'm thinking about it in the sense of I'm just trying to get my thoughts together on that. Like we're not protecting them from anything. we're keeping them from learning about themselves and how life really operates and works. Is probably where I was at with it. Like we ain't really got it all, to the point where they, the youth can really learn from our mistakes in a way in which they don't have to go through them, if you get what I'm saying.
But we're right. We're not presenting. That's us, though. I mean, that the thing is, that's us. That's 40 and 50-year-olds. We're
Yeah.
not. How if we can't pick up if you can't pick up your kids from school without you can get jumped on. If they're not afraid to jump on me, because I mean, remember the lady that got followed around Target and they jumped on her,
Right.
or they followed her around whatever Walmart or whatever it was.
Right.
And I'm just saying it's because I'm not saying it's because of it. I'm just saying it may attribute to the fact that it's hard for them to actually look around them and see the meemaws and the nanas and the unks and the when they gotta look for someone who has a gray hair in their hair because they look like us, Smitty. We're the ones that you're talking about that pass down that good word to give them to make the mamas that's 20 and 30 check on them so they can pass it down to the kid. Remember you said earlier, before baby girl got here with the whole you out here acting a monkey and someone corrects you and says, you better stop all that before I go tell your mama. We're the ones, that's us.
Oh yeah.
That's us. That's all of us. That's all of these ninjas that be on these panels that's 40 and 50 years old right now. That's us who's supposed to be telling them, y'all, but guess what? The little dude on the corner, I don't know his mama. So it goes back to the whole community of and the village and all that factors being considered because there is no community to where I don't know these ninjas around me. So that who mama am I gonna tell when I look younger than the mother? So they don't have no surface reason to respect me because they don't see an elder.
You
They
still
look
go.
at you, Smitty. You look 35, and they mama is 35, so they gonna respect the elder.
Yeah, but like you still going back to that how we look as age. I'm like I said
I
to you.
think that has a big thing to do with it because of how our grandmothers and mamas and aunties obviously looked separate from our mamas.
Wait, when we go
Appearance
back
and
on
everything, the way they carry
no,
themselves and everything.
watch this. When we were growing up, there were like even down to like, for example, TV shows, right? Man, a lot of these so-called TV stars and stuff, they weren't that much older than us, but they had the appearance of it. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, what you keep saying because we don't look old enough. Like, when you really go back on it, a lot of us grew up in the exact same circumstance, but it's not about how they looked, it's how they carried themselves. Like I said, my peoples always carried themselves in a way in which they like really took care of them, like really took care of us. And
Right,
like,
I know. I'm saying that. I'm adding to that. I'm saying right. They look very taken care of. They look like they respected themselves. You
yeah,
can feel the energy of them being older and respectful.
you can see dignity, you can see integrity, you can see that there are boundaries, you can see that there are morals. You see what I'm
How
saying? It,
right, but now when your grandmother is me and your mama is my 30-year-old sister and and my grandson is 13. I look as old as my sister. So
mhm.
optically to a 13-year-old, when they see or a 12-year-old, they're looking to present the grandma factor. Grandma looks grandma. There's an obvious reason to respect an elder because I can see there is an elder. Now
Mm,
you start getting down into the younger generations of us is you got Nia Long that don't even look like she's 50. Regina King don't even look like she's 54, 56. When the 40-year-old, the 30-year-old, her 30-year-old daughter looks just as young as she does. So the kid is looking at the elder factor. So you got Medea in my face to say that's what a grandma looked like. Now they go into the world and where's Medea? Because grandmas look like me. So where's Medea? That's if I'm supposed to respect my grandma, and that's what my grandma's supposed to look like. My grandma looked like that. Some of us other ones had big mamas and meemaws. But now you got grandmas that look like Nene Leakes, that
Yeah,
look
but
like Kim. You know what I'm saying? So how they're having a hard. I'm just saying from the kid telling me, how can we respect the elder when I don't see any?
right, right. Listen. This is what I'm saying, right? One, we got to think about like as time goes on, just like how the kids pick up on technology and things of that nature a lot faster than we did, right? We also have a lot more vitality. So our vitality is like extended. The more that we extend in medicine and science, the longer the life human expectancy is. So yeah, I can see how 30, 40 years, 50 years later, we are looking a lot younger than what our grandmothers and them did because it's a lot of things that we even recognize health wise and what not to eat, all of that. Like, when we recognize, uh, starch or white bread, stuff like that, too much sugar, whatever it is, all the things that was killing us, we have a lot more awareness of that at this point. That's where I'm at. That's what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? So
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
that's what really helped us in that sense.
Yeah, like even look at our beloved Wildest Wake Up Show, Sharon. He's a whole grandfather. Like everybody that, and I get what the kid is saying. How am I supposed to tell the difference? And they're supposed to also be able to look at a man who wants to be called a woman and tell them to say, "Okay, I'm gonna call you a woman."
But,
So
but that
the
question, but
confusion across the board is just you're supposed to be a hold on, let old girl hear this part. You're supposed to be a gentleman to the women in your life that you only deal with. So the women, the stud, you ain't got to be a gentleman to her because she's a boy too. I said, well, how does that supposed to make sense? You're a girl. She said, no, we're studs. And I said, okay, I respect that respectfully, but you can't tell the young boys to be a gentleman to everybody except for the studs. And then they got to figure out who is the stud. So add that to that caveat too. Add that to them figuring out because I also had the young kid tell me, why do I have to keep calling my male teacher Miss Johnson? Because the law says in Michigan, you will get, that's a felony misgendering someone. So you're gonna get in trouble if you don't say the right gender, even though your eyes tell you something different. And you got to add that to this caveat. So on top of that, there's no balance. And then where's the daddy? Because the daddy comes in to provide some of that stability and some of that, and just even being around, not even a daddy, but where are the male influences? Where are the males, the male support? I'm not even gonna blame it on the dad, just where are the men, period. So I'm just saying, oh, period. Let me see.
yeah, a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay. Okay.
Little bit.
Okay, hold on, stay right there. Let me do you here.
Nah, I
Let
feel
me put
good.
you in. I'll put you on the big screen.
Yeah, yeah, we feel
Oh,
good.
look at Smitty, y'all. Oh,
Yeah. Had to go ahead and get that thing touched up real quick. I,
y'all, don't forget
what?
Smitty, little Smitty still works, y'all.
See, there you go. See, first of all, why?
We're just gonna remind the crew that everybody knows that hey,
I,
just in case you want to go back and hear the clip that
I
the
have no
all
clue.
the Smitty works, honey, in full capacity.
I have no clue of what to say to that. Thank you very much for that
I'm just trying to
extreme.
say, because these people like to get flued out and fly out. So just in case one of y'all was wondering, y'all didn't catch the Bionic Man interview. All of Smitty is in full function. Period. Period. Okay. Okay. I'm just making sure. Head. Okay. 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 All right, y'all can get back to it. Y'all know I'm silly, so
I'm clipping the shit out of that.
listen. I said y'all go back because I'm going through the video clipping it so I can get those moments. And I
Nigga,
said, "Ooh, don't forget the Smitty and the little Smitty is in the high house."
saying that. See, that's what I'm saying. So we got to get that straight. Like, I don't see. Yeah, I don't do the, talking about the. But when you keep calling them little, like, can we refrain from
No,
that?
okay. Smitty and Smitty Jr. Okay.
I mean, God
You gonna
damn.
say Junior? Cause son, y'all know Junior was bigger than the original, and so was Tiny.
Now you just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't you mad at
That is hilarious. Hey,
you.
puppy.
Yeah, that
Puppy
is
saying it's
funny.
talking in this damn
That
phone,
is funny.
girl.
We gotta find that.
Now
You
you
say
got
what
some
now?
comedy clips. I said now you have some comedy clips for your repertoire.
You wild for that one. I ain't mad at you. You
I
wild for
wish y'all
that
could.
though.
I wish y'all could see this boy sitting here at attention, looking at me. Hi, baby. You want to come sit with mama? He said no.
You would have to even out the screen.
I'm trying to see where is he? Okay, come here,
You gotta
come here.
even out the screen.
Whoa,
if
come here, come here.
if we gonna see anything. Mm-hmm. Where?
This way. Oh, let's move you. Oh, you talking about move everybody around? Okay, there we
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Even out so I can, we can see it a little bit better. Yeah. That's
go. Oh,
all I
wait,
was.
put me on the big screen here. That way, I'm a big bubble.
There you go. Candid camera for the people. You smell me now? There you go.
Wait, how I do it? I forgot how to do it. Okay, there it go. Move over there.
There you
Okay.
go.
All right. So y'all want to say hi? Come here. Let me see. Come here. Come here. You go outside. Come on. You do?
What you can
Okay.
folks outside with you?
All right. So everybody say hello to the puppy. Okay. Don't lick my lips. I got
What you
on lip
take
gloss.
outside with you?
Hmm.
Oh, okay. There you go, right there. So
Hmm.
all right. So let me ask you this: like, when you think about the connection, right? Like, do you believe that dogs are really man's best friend in the sense of human to animal connection?
Hmm.
Why?
I think. And I also think like when you have your first dog, and if they pass, I think if your pet passes on you, I think their spirit just stays with you and comes back. I
Mhm.
think that's it. Because I've had dogs my whole life. Okay. And also there's a connection too, because the obvious reason is that they can't talk, right? Um, so how are you communicating with somebody or something that can't talk? We do it with babies all the time and we don't think anything of it because babies are human.
You said
However,
can't talk. All right, but we got to
it cannot
remember.
speak.
Okay, there
It
you
cannot
go.
articulate. It cannot articulate because
Right, but
he does make audible noises that are in agreement. Like I can, they can follow you. They can connect to a human and follow your tone and connect emotions of the serotonin in their brain going off, firing at a certain voice tone or a certain structure of words. And then the science has also been proven showing that over time, our domesticated dogs have been able to understand at least like four words that are completely repeated and are the same in no matter what language, right? Like, i.e., I love you, right? You say, I love you. Everywhere in the world, everybody says, I love you to their dog, always says, I love you, right? Um, so even if you believe that they've learned over time to understand a few words that humans always say, then that bond in itself, because they understand those four words, on top of the fact that most of the communication is silent. So how are you telling, you have to learn the non-verbal way to communicate. So then you have to focus on other elements that allow you to communicate with this thing. So there's an obvious bond because you have to trust them. There's obviously a bond as well because you have to have one because you are actually alone in a room or a home with an
right.
animal that can absolutely eat you. So someone has to trust something. You have to create a hierarchy. So then that bond in itself, which is the hierarchical bond, which is
Right.
why you respect your father or your nephews respect you, and that has to be there. So absolutely, there's like the bond is serious and absolutely has to happen. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, if we channel that into because you know what I noticed, um, we can have more respect for the pets nowadays than we do the kids. Getting back to them. So it's like when you think about everything you just said, I believe that now think about it. You say you don't have any kids and you shouldn't speak on things. That right there,
No, I
that
said they told me I shouldn't because I don't have kids.
okay, well that's what they say. But my point is that that right there was some very sound advice, even from a parental perspective. So uh,
Yeah, it could work for a human child who is not communicating and chooses not to communicate. Because to me, okay, so I'm not saying because
what
I'm
age-
not a parent, so I don't know.
real
But to
quick,
me,
uh,
go ahead.
no, real quick. So when you say that, what age are you talking about? When you say child's not communicating because I like for example, me personally, me and my like I could not keep that little girl away from me when she was a certain age. And then when she got to a certain point in life, it's like I can't get her to want to be around me. It's like
But
dad's
they
not
all do. We all do that. That's why I be pissed off
that's
at sometimes. Like, oh my god, why are y'all forgetting that? Just like you said in the beginning, Smitty,
yeah,
Genesis. People say you might not have any children, so you can't speak on it. But weren't you a child? Okay, weren't you a child? So you
right,
know, why are we acting so stupid ass surprised? And why are we acting so grand like, oh my God, because this kid don't want to talk to us. Nigga, did you talk to your mama when you was side of her? You did not. So why are you I don't understand sometimes with that because that's the first my go-to with every child I've dealt with. And it's okay, so what I don't have my own pushed out my vagina child. Even still, my thought process is I was once that age. Things were
puberty,
different. No, things were puberty still the same. My body still had cramps and I had my tender breast and boys, my brother still woke up with a Woody and it didn't matter if it was 1950, so my stepdad woke up with a Woody, to 1975 when my brother woke up, when my cousin woke up with a Woody, my 1988 when my brother woke up with a Woody, to 1932 when that little dude woke up with a Woody. Y'all all woke up with Woody, so why you acting like all of a sudden, right? Oh, we no. I don't understand that sometimes. And I'm not saying if I was a parent, I probably would be saying the same thing if I had my own children. Because I don't understand how y'all forget that you once were kids and that there's kids all around you and everybody around you. But we can all sit back and reflect on the good times. But we forget when we was 13, we was not trying to be independently by ourselves and be unique. That is not the ideal of a 12 and 13-year-old. It's called peer pressure for a reason, and you want to get along to fit along. That's why you join things. That's why you go be in bands and be in sports because you want to be a part of something. So why the fuck would you tell your child to be independent and be themselves and be all unique when none of that shit means nothing to them right now? And you know what? It didn't mean nothing to you when they told you that when you was 12. So stop the grown up ass cap. That's just crazy to me. So yeah, man, go ahead. I ain't mean to rant, but it's like, dude, how do you look in the mirror and forget that you was a child and you did the same shit? It's so crazy, especially when you say, "Oh, Smitty, she acts just like you," and who tell you that? Your mama or your auntie, and them who remember how you was and can tell you how your daughter act. Oh, Felix act just like you when you was 12, Smitty. How you know? How they know? So now you gonna forget that you was 12 and all this dumb shit you was doing too, and then you look at them like, why you do dumb shit? Uh, hello, wash and repeat. Pot calling the kettle. Hey, Mr. Papa Pot, Mama Pot. So no, man, that's just for the maybe I don't know nothing I'm talking about. I don't know. I don't know anything. I'm just
you
the auntie that
you good.
watches y'all lose it with your kids and forget that you was. I don't know why she out here. Cause her mama wear a waist trainer. Why you think she got a concern about her waist size and why she cute and little bitty? Because the mama walking around her waist trainers, you can't say that you are influencing on your children in a positive way, but forget all the negative stuff, and then forget that you was a kid and how it happened for you. That's the part that pissed me off sometimes. Be like, y'all forget, Because I don't be trying to forget sometimes. The shit is there, I'm sorry.
I mean,
Irritating.
you
I
be
be
going.
yelling at my sister because I be like, you was just 21. Stop. What are you talking about? You was just underage. You just made it 10 years. You just 11 years of being a whole grown up.
What would you say if you had to pick something, right? What would you say is the number one component that children of today, the youth of today, lack?
Nah, it ain't no number one. It's a whole list of stuff, probably. It's a whole list of stuff.
Give me one thing. Give me whatever you give
Self
me.
confidence. Self confidence. We have been struggling with self confidence. That's why we have all these outside organizations and resources, right? To help boost your child's self
Confidence?
confidence, your self confidence, your self esteem, how you feel about yourself is really focus how we don't encompass it with it's gonna have to do with the world around you. How you develop and who you turn into is it's going to have everything to do with the world around you. So you can't be like, don't worry about the world around you when that's exactly what's shaping you. You need all that. That you're in your house and you're outside of your house. So you're not going to get self-confidence unless you walk up to that girl that called you ugly and then you realize there's a self-confidence barometer. And the only way you get the confidence a lot of times is because someone comes behind that situation and reinforces the positive part of you. Every time it happens that way. No, it happened that way for your daddy. It happened that way for my mama. It happens that way for you, and it happened that way for your daughter. But it's stupid of us to sit here and act like we're brand new to this. These kids are getting bored in school. These kids are fucking at 13 and 10. And then you're going to sit here, but you can sit here and kick it with your homeboys, talk about how early it was when you got your piece of ass, but you be upset because these kids are having sex. Guess what? They're recklessly having sex, whether the girl wants to or not. Because the men ain't, nobody's there to tell the kids when the kids say no, you can't do that. So how do we get there? It ain't like the boys were doing that, just started doing it. They've been doing it. It's the point of we had a bigger accountability barometer back then. It was something checking us. It was an actual village. We were embarrassed for that stuff to get out. And we can't say, oh, we don't act like we don't know what's going on. The same shit's happening. And we see it and we hear it. It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's no balance and it's crazy. And who am I going to go tell? No shade to you. I'm going to go tell the 35-year-old mama who really don't give a shit. I'm going to go tell the female version of JP. We just heard her on there say don't go get a job. So I come to her and tell her son out here acting crazy. Who am I going to tell her? Like you said, they're going to come to you and say, I'm going to go tell Ashley. Well, who you going to tell? Is that your Ashley? What if that was your Ashley?
Nah,
exactly.
You want them to nowhere near the same.
Ain't no way we would be alive today.
Nah, my people's definitely one thing that was drilled into us was discipline, hygiene, education.
So how do you get a JP who don't even wear underwear and watches his ass? How does that boy develop? And where was that boy at? How do you get that man?
I know nothing about what that guy has going on in any direction.
No, I'm telling you what it is going on because we all know because he was live when he showed us. How about that? However, start with the fact that the evidence is out there in the world. How do you get that grown-up version of that? If we were all taught that back in the day, the emphasis was keep yourself clean, be respectful, have some manners, act like you got some sense. How do you get this? How do we get these panel discussions of these men and these women talking like this? There should be no reason we should have dirty workstations because we assume everybody was taught to clean up behind yourself.
Right. Yeah. You gotta take note that again, this is what happens when the bar is set all the way lower to the point where, like said before earlier, there is no bar. Like when we don't have the standards that we used to have. See, a lot of what we're talking about are really stemming from the standards of old. right? And so nowadays that we're in a society that we're in, and everybody's like, man, you can just be as free as you want to be in anything, do what you want, say what you want, act how you want, twerk where you want, do anything you want. That, believe it or not, has given us more liberty in society, but it's also really decreased our ability to connect as well. Because, you know, those standards that we had, we realize now, looking back on it, hindsight being 2020, how important it was. It was so important for me to have the discipline to know, like, wait your turn. You know what I'm saying? Like little stuff, like just the basic everyday fundamental functions that we.
Even physically, how you knew not to walk in front of people.
Yeah, that's what I mean everything, like just there are so many factors and so many like real what I would consider to be very basic key functions of surviving in society that I've realized that are removed. You know, because everything is about, you know, everybody do what you want to do at this point. And that's what's really destroyed everything. So I mean, yeah, I know you feel good in the moment and what you're doing, but overall, is that really going to be beneficial? You see? So that's primarily where I am with it though, just to make that part clear. And on the last part, in which I believe you was talking about when you was saying something about how the kids function, I believe that a lot of what we see how the kids operate today has a lot to do with um uh their lack of, I would say, self-awareness. I would say self-awareness and accountability for each other. We actually had a shame factor that we grew up to. When I landed on this, we had a shame factor. And that shame factor is really what kept us in line when it came to how we actually conduct ourselves and how we move. Like, for example, like you said, you see the old woman coming to the building, get up, right? If you didn't, we would be shamed for that. Like, man, you see, man, get up. What you doing? Like somebody may punch you in the arm or something. You know what I mean? Just on some slight stuff like get up. You see she coming in here. You see Miss Mary coming on her way in the door, right? So all of these factors right there, like that's what's really is taking place that I believe that's lowered how, you know, again, I'm terrified to know that this youth is who we're gonna have to depend on us to be our nurses and stuff when we get older. I'm terrified. Yeah. It
Y'all, this whole time I ain't had no background music on. We just was going at it. Oh my goodness. I've been slipping. Ah, well, y'all ain't been hearing the background music.
I mean, I think we've been rocking out and cooking with it though. I think it's been some vibe though, to be quite honest with you. I think we did an awesome job. I ain't even realize.
Y'all just let me talk.
Yeah, I ain't realized we was at 3 hours. I mean, I think that went pretty damn dope.
Oh no, that's good. Yeah, that's good. On me, I don't know how many watch hours you have, but I didn't hardly have any, and I didn't realize I didn't hardly have any. So this is good for me because
I
it
don't.
helps get me
I
some.
have. I haven't looked at any of those things. I just kind of look at when people interact with me and things of that nature more than anything. I'm here for the interaction. I'll probably take the time to look at that though and see what's going on. But other than that, I really look at when people interact with me, and of course, I look at my views and if people subscribe, things of that nature, because I do focus on that to make sure that however I'm delivering the message is getting out there. You see what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm putting up to getting out there is it spreading, people attracting to it. What can I do to buffer it, right? So that's why we all need each other when it comes to that sense. So what you do, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'll just pull you up and be like, hey, you know, suggestion this or and I'm talking about behind the scenes wise. You know what I'm saying? Because that's important. um, that we actually communicate. Just kind of keep, folks on their toes. But we got a lot of gatekeeping. So again, when we say the youth ain't learning, I mean, shoot, we got those of us who we are the same age and we don't want to teach each other.
Man, and that's why I kind of was bothered when it's like, okay, well, the older women aren't passing down anything. Passing down, that's us. We're the ones supposed to be passing down. And if we're in competition for if those women are in competition for a man out here, they're competing for the same guys, right?
Mhm.
So I'm not gonna give you a leg up. So I understand some on the other side why some women won't pass on the knowledge because they're still trying to, and unfortunately that's the way it's set up. The older men want the younger women, so the younger women want the tips from the older women on how to get a man or how to
Right.
keep their man. No, well, that older woman is not going to give you a tip to go after her boyfriend,
Right.
so that's going to be out the window. So it's not I can see why Ace can be unintentionally created that way. You know what I mean? Unintentionally ain't going in that direction. It wasn't like it's not. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I didn't necessarily sit back and think about it because I'm not in competition with anybody to be like, oh no. But I can see why that could be an issue if all the younger women are going after the older men, and the older woman is supposed to help you get that said older man. She's not gonna do that. So I'm not saying that's what all the older women think, and that's the only reason why they don't share the knowledge, but that could be a reason why they don't share that knowledge.
So let's go ahead and let's skim through this before we get to final thoughts for the evening. All right, so we only have 3 questions, and I ain't gonna lie, we stretched that out pretty daggone good. It's like we talked an hour per question. So whoa, like we did that. I usually write down way more questions than that. So are these kids being raised to be softer or smarter? And I would say both. I believe they're being raised to be more technologically advanced, but through that they are becoming softer in that they're not having as much contact for uh, sports and like actual sports, but just like the sport of life for those who may not get how I meant that. Or just being out there and just roughing it at times, if you want to use the code. Right? Then we have had social media and technology changed how the youth, develops emotionally and socially, right? Compared to when we were in the late 70s and early 80s. So I believe it definitely has changed the game because they were removed from each other, all right? And then are we using on our kids and protecting them, or are we just simply correcting mistakes that we've made in the past? So, Genesis, what's your final words on it when it comes to, you know what I'm saying?
Can y'all see me now? I was.
Yeah, you right there. I can hear you. I can't see
You can hear me
you, but I
now.
can
Can you see
hear
me?
you.
Okay, yeah. I was
Yeah,
kicked
I
off
see
for
you.
a second. That's crazy. I was kicked
There
off
you
for a
go. There
second.
you go. No,
All
it
right,
happens. That happens.
that was pretty cool. Um, I don't know. And again, I don't. See, I always feel like I don't feel bad about sometimes when I speak on children. On other, on the whole kids having kids and the whole being a parent and the youth of today. But sometimes I don't feel bad. You know what I mean? Because I feel like it's people like us, that other people that don't have children, we have a different way of viewing and focusing on them. And we can see things you guys don't see sometimes. So sometimes I don't feel bad. So I just want to make sure that that was out there. That I'm not trying to be a butthead, but sometimes I don't necessarily feel regretful for saying anything. But the first thing people want to say is you don't have kids, so how can you even say what you're saying? I'm just
You
letting you
keep
know.
saying that, like, yo, I told you, like, you
I
keep
know.
saying.
I'm just saying. I'm just making that reference. So when people watch my video again and they say, "Oh, here she this," I don't. I'm letting you know now. I'm not trying to say I don't feel bad about it, but I don't really care.
Yeah, but you was up here with a whole father, so you know what I mean. Like you good on
A
that.
whole father.
Yeah, you
I
know
have
what
a
I'm.
stepfather.
I said you were
And
up here on the panel with a whole father.
oh yeah, you.
She said, "Oh yeah, you." Yo, the way you be, I'm a holler at you. Because the way you, shit,
I
boy.
forgot it when you said I'm on the panel with the whole father, and I'm like, wait, I have a father.
I mean, nah, it's just the way you be saying stuff like, yeah, so yeah, y'all, little Smitty still works.
No,
That don't
but
sound,
right, what? No, Smitty, I'm gonna clip it because when it was on the show, it was you just said my and all that. I said okay, all right, big Smitty and little Smitty in
I
full
was saying
effect.
it in a very much so appropriate manner. What I was saying is that, how people,
How you said my dick work too.
I was saying it in a I was saying it in a very much so gentleman type manner. What I was saying,
I'm about to clip that. That was not gentlemen's.
what I was saying, Genesis, was I am able to still do my bodily functions just fine. Yes, I everything still operates just fine. Now, if y'all wanted to take it to that extent, you can, because it might be true.
Look me in my eye.
But I'm
That
not.
is not what you said.
See, there you go, right there. But I'm not gonna be talking about it. You smell me now? Like that's all I'm saying.
Well, you came to look the wrong show because where my let me
I
get grown. Let's get back to the grown up stuff. 'Cause,
see there you go. There you go.
let's get back to the grown up stuff because this is why it's after dark. So hello, y'all. This is why it's after dark. After dark to talk like this. Okay, people, it's okay. It's okay.
I got dragged into this. I'm just here now. I'm just
It's
here.
okay, love bugs. It's all right.
I'm just here.
Okay, we are all okay for it.
Oh, but
That's what I
yeah.
want everybody to know.
So I mean, like
This is
I
super
would say,
delayed.
right, right. I would say, yeah,
Smitty, which if you could give advice to a young man right now,
uh,
just because earlier when I was listening to the show, how they were talking about how, somebody said, oh, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And if an older man has to acquire advice, then that's a problem. So the advice should always be coming from the wise one down, right? So if you could tell these a young man of today, right, that's all up and through today, um, give him some advice as just in general. Because remember, this is still coming back to the point of we are the ones who are supposed to be passing down the words of wisdom to the young people, but they ain't listening to us, even though we're that generation that we're talking about that's supposed to be passing these words down.
I
Like
would,
I would tell a young boy, go ahead, you tell you first.
okay. Um, I would definitely speak. I would speak on your inner peace. Like that's extremely important. Like don't allow people in this world to disrupt your peace. Like whatever you got going on, you have to be well in tune with yourself to make sure that you maintain your inner peace. And I would also tell them, speaking on the in tune with yourself, you also have to chase your purpose. Don't be concerned about chasing the bag. Chase your purpose, and everything you want will come along with it. That is the actual advice that I would give them. Believe it or not, yeah, yeah. And I would speak to them about the importance of financial stability and financial literacy, all of these type of things, what it is I have to offer on it. But if I was to help them on anything, I would help them with like being in tune with yourself. Because a lot of people just are not. A lot of people are really losing themselves. Like we're really focused on the wrong thing. So I would guide them in the mode in which I have found peace myself through. So the only reason why I'm telling them that because I actually am living it out and it works for me. So I would offer that to 'em. Figure out who you are. And
Right,
that,
but if they're 10 and 11, how are they gonna do that?
oh, see, you didn't do all of see, you ain't say all of that. Okay, so you talking about 10 and 11-year-old. If I was just
Well,
to give
no, we automatically assume. I think the assumption is that you're speaking to someone who's
I'm
similar,
gonna be real with you, if
near
they're
your
like
intellect. So I
if
think
they're
we automatically assume.
right. If they're like 10 or 11 years old, I would just honestly I would just really keep it kind of real simple platform and I would be like, learn yourself. Learn yourself and learn from your elders, those who are guiding you in the right way. Say learn yourself and learn from your elders. That's what I would say. See, I'm a lot more traditional with the advice that I would give. But again, it all depends on like the circumstance. Like, are we talking about like they're impoverished and poor and all of that stuff? So, but if you just talking about the average, to someone's talking to some just 10-year-old, 10, 11, 12-year-olds or something, yeah, I would definitely still. Everything with me goes back to learn yourself, be in tune with yourself. So in some form of fashion, I'm going to be guiding them in a way that most other people won't. Because see, how I see it is most people not going to tell them what I'm saying, and I believe that that's the information that'll stick out, Jai, like the most. You smell me now? Because it's like, everybody else is going to, I believe, tell them somewhat of a similar tone of a message. But when I actually go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, give them what it is I'm giving them, I believe it stands out a little bit more. Just a little bit. It might, depending on the group of kids I'm talking to. Some of them, might be like, we ain't trying to hear that, OG. But you know how that goes. But if they were receptive, that's what I would tell them. Yeah, I would definitely speak to them about knowing yourself. Everybody too focused on everybody else. Everybody too focused on what somebody else got. Everybody's too focused on everything except who they really should be most focused on, and that's you. And that's just how I see that personally. That's a so that's I mean, I'm gonna be real with you. That's advice that I give to people our age. Not even just like no 10-year-olds. No bullshit. It's cheesy or corny or like dull as it may sound, like that's a real thing. Like a lot of people have truly lost themselves, and we are in a day and age of everybody trying to find themselves through exterior motives, through exterior facets of life, said like via social media and everything else. And a lot of people just don't know themselves. A lot of people don't have that balance within themselves. So that's what I see. But you good though?
Mm-hmm. You said know yourself.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to go back to even when I was younger. And I'm thinking like, how valid is that information for me? I got kicked out of Jehovah's Witness when I was 15. So you telling me to know myself. I mean, I'm saying it's good advice. I'm just saying at that time, what did that mean to me? So the biggest thing, I don't know if I want to advise the kids as much as I want to advise the parents, you know, because you're gonna tell that kid to do something that they have no foundation in, almost, right? They may or may not have a foundation in that. And talking to my nephew, just talking to him, the way we talk, the speed we speak, the cadences, the way we articulate. Sometimes all of that sounds like Charlie Brown's teacher, right? So realizing that I had to slow down, And then one thing that I noticed that people don't do with each other, and I've gotten to mad confrontations with people about, why don't you ever check to see if the other person is understanding you as you're talking to them? We don't do it because people just don't. When people do it, they think it's sarcasm, right? They think me checking and seeing if you
Well, it's
understand.
because real quick, pineapple.
Mhm.
It's not about really communicating. In circumstances in which you're describing, right, which isn't all circumstances, that right there is when an individual or individuals are not really trying to have a conversation. It's all about who can prove that they're more right. Like, I gotta be more right than you. And so it's not so when you see that or notice the lack of, are you getting where I'm coming from? That's because they don't care if you get where they're coming from. All they want to know is that they were able to, I guess, beat you in the debate, right?
The conversation race.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, yeah. That's generally from what I've seen and observed, looking at this from an online perspective, yeah, that's what I see definitely. Yeah.
Well, all things considered, that even in itself, where you're not even checking to see if the person understands you. With kids, I'm noticing you really need to check to see if they understand what you said, because I've given directive, and I think that I'm talking to someone who appears to be on my same intellectual or enough of an intellectual level. I'm an adult, they're a child, they have enough sense to know certain things, and that's not always true, right? Even when I worked the No Child Left Behind program, remember that? I was a program test, what do you call it, tester at Sylvan
Mhm.
Learning Center, right?
Oh,
So at Sylvan Learning Center, I don't even think there are very many more anymore Sylvan Learning Centers. I think they're all like Kumans and stuff now. However, the testing, each kid was given like $1,500 towards their sub and their education, right? Their subsidiary education, right? So if they wanted to go to get tutoring or anything like that, they had $1,500 to spend. So they came there. I'm looking at a 15-year-old that looks like a big 15-year-old kid. I'm looking at a ninth grader. I'm looking at a 17-year-old, but I'm
mm,
asking them to read. And the way the testing is set up is that you have to start on their level, and then as the more challenging it gets, you go down a level, right? So and then you find out where they actually are reading and comprehending. That was shocking to see what I appears to be a 15-year-old, 17-year-old in front of me, but he's literally reading and comprehending on a fourth grade level. Because now we've gone down, okay, you didn't get enough correct on that part of the test, so it automatically goes down to the next grade. You didn't get enough correct on that test, and now it automatically goes down to the next grade. So if you're 14, you're in the ninth grade, we're gonna start off on ninth grade reading and comprehension, and then you're gonna go to eighth grade, seventh grade, sixth grade, fifth grade, and now you finally understand what you read and it's on the fourth grade level. So imagine that I'm talking to a 13, 12, 14-year-old, but they actually read, comprehend all that on a fourth grade level as an eighth grader, as an 8-year-old, I mean, right? Or a 7-year-old. That in alone by itself made me think differently, even in just communicating and talking to them, interacting with them, because they're not getting half of what you're saying. And because we as adults don't even really care to check and see if they understood what
I,
you just
I,
told them.
but I believe that again. I believe it's all about in the delivery. I believe that because, and that's why, like, even for example, how we say there is no book on parenting. We do say that as parents. There's no textbook on it. Why? Because it's case by case. It's individual child by individual child. And you have to know how the best way for you to communicate with your child or that child in particular. You just have to figure that out. See what I'm saying? So when it comes
That's
to
fine, but when they are not comprehending on the level that you think they are on, it's okay that it might be a little bit of rustiness happening. Because what's happening, all
but
that what you said, Smitty, all that what you said is fine. But when you actually find out that you think your unique child
mm,
understands you because you are talking to them in this way, everybody else doesn't speak, is not going to talk to them that way, so that makes sure that they understand what you're saying. So that uniqueness is great. However, if their cognition stops at 8 years old and they're 15, you tell that person what they should be understanding as 15-year-old vocabulary, and they don't even understand the words you're saying. They don't know what comprehension means. They don't know what conflict means. So you
that's
telling
what
them
I'm trying
all this
to
shit and doesn't mean shit to them.
So again, like, all right, so I love the fact that I can resort to a lot of things in which my father himself in real life. All right, so what he would do is he wouldn't just tell me something. He wouldn't just tell me exactly what it is. He would always give me some kind of really good analogy or scenario that he knew I would be able to get the pick. Excuse me, hiccups. Where he knew I would get the picture of what it is that he's speaking about. Okay. So my point is, when it comes to actually teaching our kids, if we don't recognize that each individual child learns a different way, and we have to know how to go about the approach. It's your approach and what you say, how you say it to that kid. You got to know how to go ahead and get them to picture and envision, or at least get what it is that you're saying. You're saying that they don't comprehend. No, they do comprehend. Are you able to bring it to the level in which they're able to comprehend? And I think that's where a lot of us fall short.
No, Smitty, that's you just sat here and did the same. You said what I'm saying. If you bring it to the level that in which they comprehend,
Right.
you are their parent. When I test your child, you think your child reads and understands what he read on his little 14-year-old level. You say that your child understands what you say to them. That's because whatever methods you use to communicate with that child, that's how he learns to communicate with you. What happens is that child takes that form of communication to the world. And then they come work for me, or they sit across me when I'm testing them, and I find out when he's reading the signs around him, it takes him a second to read caution, do not walk. Because he's not understanding the words on his big old 14-year-old level. But to you, he's fine because you can say to him, do this, do that, whatever, and he understands you. But how, unfortunately, they take that part of them to the world. And when they get out there, you say, y'all, you need to learn conflict resolution. They don't understand what that means. What does that mean? Because their mama is not letting them learn the conflict resolution, for one. And two, they learn how to deal with stuff, how you might be stopping them from learning the conflict resolution because they've learned how to deal with you.
But
You
see,
might
that's what.
you might be
But see, that's
go
what I was
ahead.
going to say briefly. No, yeah, real quick, briefly. That's what I was going to say. The thing about it is that that's where how we teach them comes into play. Do you see what I'm saying? Like how they learn is through us. They learn through us. You see? So, I mean, a lot of times you don't have to tell them anything. All you have to do is just simply lead by example. That's where lead by example comes into play. See, that's what I'm a heavy believer in. A lot of things, my parents, honestly, that I learned from them, it wasn't just what they sat down and said to me. It was actually how I saw how they operate. Just over years of just seeing a repetitive system of how they move. I learned. So I just wanted to throw that piece in. I digress. My mic is muted.
Yeah, that was nice. He said, that was it. That was it, huh? No. I mean, yeah, they're gonna learn from you. That's their whole job. I told my nephew, you got one job, be a kid. Because when you grown up, you're gonna be grown up forever. And then, but while he's a kid, at the same time, I'm looking like all these men be out here crying about all this influence they don't got. You know, you're not focusing on the right children. So I don't know. Look, I'm not a parent. I don't know, but I do know I have to deal with your lack of parenting every day. You know. So yeah, man. Can
Well,
y'all hear me? I had to plug up the.
wait,
Y'all hear me?
real quick. You said you have to deal with the lack of parenting every day.
Yep, I have to deal with the fact that some people don't have not parented their child. Oh, my earbuds died. Okay. I'm like, why are you talking over here? Who you talking to? That's funny.
Okay.
I should have ordered something to eat, but now it's 10:46 and it's gonna take a while to get here. See, this is when I like. I like to have me a nice cold bowl of cereal. Am I weird? I eat cereal. First of all, I still eat cereal as an adult. But secondly, I can have me a bowl of cereal any time of day. A good, nice,
What do
crispy,
you
cold
mean?
bowl of
What?
cereal.
What? Like, what kind of question is that? Is it weird that I like to
I'm
eat
a weirdo.
dog? I still love me a nice bowl of cream of wheat or grits or oatmeal or Captain Crunch and Cocoa Puffs or Special K strawberry.
I was gonna say cold
I mean,
cereal,
I don't.
Captain Crunch, like Frosted Flakes. Oh, yum. Mm.
I've never been a with cereal that I've never been a fan of for some strange reason. The cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah, I can't have a whole bowl of cinnamon milk.
I can't.
Like I don't
Yeah,
like Apple Jacks either because you get a bowl of cinnamon milk. I can eat out with Apple Jacks, but I don't want to drink the milk.
I never.
I like the
I
cereal I can drink the milk from.
Nah, I never put that much. I'm one of them. I put just enough to wet the cereal, and by the time I'm done, it's no milk left.
Huh?
Mm-hmm. I put just enough to wet the cereal. I shit you not.
What's the point of
I'm
that?
damn near eating it like almost. I don't know, like a wet dry. Like I'm serious. I'm dead ass. I know it's somebody out here who's going to hear
What's
this
the
and
point of
exactly.
that?
I don't put too
You
much
are
milk. I mean, because,
blaspheming to the cereal world.
nah, I'm trying to tell you why. Because, like, for real, do you know how I really eat cold cereal? Honestly, because all right, I gotta get like, I gotta get like a special ice cream. Like, I like cereal with ice cream.
How
Like,
do you
it's
have cereal with ice cream?
man. Oh my gosh, yo, listen, please trust me when I tell you that Captain Crunch or Cocoa Puffs, whatever, get you like a nice little scoop. Get you a nice good round scoop of some vanilla or whatever you got, some butter pecan, whatever you like. Yo, ice cream and cereal because
Butter
to the thing
pecan and Dude, oh my God. You did not say
I'm
that.
trying to say, listen, I'm just saying because I have to be careful with my stomach because I can't really have milk like that. That's what I'm saying. I'm the typical Negro with that lactose. Like
That's not
so
cool. That's not what's up because
I
there's so
want
many
to
options.
enjoy I want to enjoy the cereal. Like I do like cereal. Yeah, I do. I like cereal, but I can't like be soaking mine in no milk and be having big scoops of milk every bite. Nah, I'm a pay for that. I'm gonna pay for that.
But why not other milk? There's tons of other options milk wise.
I don't
That's
know.
even actual milk
Because I just
without the
got used to doing it.
lactose ingredient in it.
And you know what I do for real? I do the same thing my pops do too. Like if I was to have cereal, like me and him do the same thing. Like I'll take the milk, like I'll take a cup of milk, like however much I'm gonna use for that bowl amount, and I'll put it in the freezer until it chills. And then I'll go ahead and take it out.
Oh, so
I'm
you have like ice
so
chips in
weird
your milk.
about it. Like, oh yeah, I be doing the most. I be doing the most. Like I'm real.
I like the frozen milk in the cereal with the ice chips
Yeah,
in it.
yeah, kind of ice chisel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That ice chisel. What is see? Because I need it to be all the way the feeling of it's cold and fresh. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, but even then, like I said, I don't do that much inside of it. No, I don't. I put just enough to. I mean, it's it wets up real good. There's some milk at the bottom, but it's not like that
I've
when you just
never in my
go.
life would have just
No, it's
put
nothing
like just
floating.
enough
Nothing
milk.
floating. No, it's not a morsel floating. Mm-mm. It's no like
Not a
milk.
morsel.
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, I cannot live. I need to have floating morsel. I need milk to drink afterwards to wash
Mm-mm.
it down.
Nope, 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 nope. I'm good on that. I've never been like that, and plus I ain't gonna lie. Like me, I've never. Nah, matter of fact, nah. I'm a lie. When I was a kid, I ain't going front. When I was like between the ages of like, let's say like I don't know, to like 10 or something, I used to love. Man, my mom would give me a warm milk and honey to go to bed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, she mixed it just right. It was just the right sweetness and everything, right? So like that was the only time I really would like indulge in milk. But like I've never been like a real big milk person, although I do like ice cream. I don't know what it is and what's the difference, but I can handle a nice good scoop of ice cream better on my stomach than I can if I was to have like a bowl of milk. How you talking about? Like, nah, that ain't gonna be good. I'm telling you. And it's almost immediate. It's rapid fire. It's like instant karma. It don't wait. It ain't no hours later. No. No.
But
No.
how do you have ice cream
I
and not have
don't
the
know.
issue
I
of
have
being
not
out?
a clue. I have, and you know what? I have not a clue, but I think maybe it's like depending on the brand. But I don't know. It's something about maybe because I don't, even though it's cold, I don't have as much of it. Maybe it's because of the texture of it or how you know what I'm saying? But I can have like, I mean, now mind you, even with ice cream, I can't have no big ass like 3 scoops. I can't have no whole bunch of ice cream. No. Uh, I can have one nice big scoop, like enough that'll be like inside of a jumbo ice cream sandwich or something. That's about it. Anything else? Yeah, I mean, if I go overboard with the ice cream, it'll do the same thing. If I go overboard and just like dig in for real because it's bomb, yeah, I'll pay for that. That's the one thing that gets me. That's the one thing that gets me is milk. I ain't gonna lie, I'm not a drinker. They're gonna so.
Wow. That's, I mean,
Hmm.
I'm lactose intolerant too, but I know I can either suffer with enjoying the milk and getting through it, or I use other options. So, um, yeah, I've used other.
Yeah, I
I'm
know what
good
you're
with
talking about, like
I've tried so many different things.
you talking
And then
about like
and there's milk in everything. There's milk in so many different things. I found out there was milk in chewing gum, so it's kind of like trying to get away from it. You order something out, they put butter on your food. So there's dairy everywhere. It's just, kind
butter.
of which how much dairy do I want to endure for the suffering that I'm going to endure, that I'm going to have. But no, see, I don't know, Smitty, because I've got the lactate ice cream. The ice cream with no milk, no
That's why
lactate,
I
whatever,
say,
probiotic.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I mean by it depends on the brand. Like that's what I mean by that.
Or I've gotten you got almond milk, there's oat milk, there's
But all of that. That's what I'm saying. Like it don't have
yeah.
the regular like Edie's or Friars or something. I'm not gonna lie though, I do love Turkey Hill. Now that is my weakness. Their ice cream is like, for me personally, is off the chain. I actually really like it.
See, mine is more like I like the nostalgia part of ice cream. So when I'm gonna suffer through having a stomach ache because I want a creamsicle, like the ice cream truck kind of the creamsicle. You know, when you see that part of the freezer,
You
I want to
talking
push up. You know, I want a Nestle Crunch ice cream bar or the drumstick. Like if I want a drumstick, I'm gonna have a stomach ache because the drumstick don't come without lactose. You're gonna get some lactose with the
see
drumstick.
something like that? See something like drumstick. That's what I can't like. I can have a drumstick. I can have a cookie ice cream sandwich. I can have a regular ice cream sandwich. Like I can have like a Klondike bar. I can have that
Oh, a
type.
Klondike bar gonna tear you up. Oh my God.
I can no. I can actually have that. Yeah. I can have that, and I'd be all right. I'd be all right. It's something about I don't know. It's like it's weird. Like yeah, it's crazy how you say it though. But I've definitely gone through that too. Um, like the
That's
whole
crazy work because and I love yogurt. I like cottage cheese, but ooh, child,
see,
no
see,
man.
see, that's another thing. I like yogurt too. Now yogurt I would do. I don't do cottage cheese. I do yogurt, but it has to be Greek. And I like, like pineapple, peach flavor, strawberry, blueberry, whatever. Like you don't be bummed.
I
And
can't eat Greek yogurt. I don't like the way it tastes. I give it to my dog. It's good for the dog.
yeah, I always chop up extra fruit and put in mine. That's just me. And I always like it with the granola. That should be bomb.
It is
That,
good. That's a good balanced snack too for you too in the middle of your day. You
hmm
know,
So I would do.
that's also what keeps you people thin. They don't realize that some people that are thin, they eat multiple times a day. So,
You ain't see
and they
my
eat
video.
little stuff
I,
like
I
that.
did a video. I did a video about that. I don't know if you saw it or not. It was called OMAD, basically only one meal a day. And that's basically what I'm on. It's not even just because of fasting, wise or whatever. But I actually, like lifestyle wise, I eat basically about one meal a day. I've been like that for years now.
But
Uh,
do you snack throughout the day? You graze?
only just enough when I take like if I take medication, right? Like of course something for pain or what have
Yeah,
you,
you
right?
gotta eat. You gotta eat to take
I
it.
gotta put like at least like right, like a little cheese sandwich, something like just something, to just coat your stomach. But I don't like gorge myself, no. So yeah, I would. So I mean, if I do, it's like for that reason only, and that's not even all the time. But majority of the time, no. I just eat one meal a day. Oh man,
I cannot live. I probably
I
do eat one meal. Don't even realize it.
I
Damn,
didn't
that's
even I
crazy.
didn't even realize it was an actual term for it as well. Oh man, yeah. Only yeah. I mean one meal a day. Oh man, one meal a day.
Oh, it's
hmm
called something? Hold on, what?
No, literally, yeah. I did a whole little video about it. I did a whole little short about it. You might have missed that one. That's on my video list. It's called Oh Man.
Damn, I don't want it to be called nothing. That's crazy work.
Yeah, OMAD. OMAD. Only one meal. I mean one meal a day. Yeah,
Mm,
and
mm, mm.
actually, that's how you should eat. Believe it or not, that's actually the preferred way that our ancestors, like our ancestors ate. They didn't do like breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They had to hunt. They had to wait for food and everything else, and they still lived long lives. I've done a nice little bit of content on my shorts. If anybody's interested, it's in my shorts. I've spoken about quite a few of those things, like which body type is better for survival.
Hmm?
I'm in it.
Hello? Uh-oh. You bored
You heard
again?
me?
No, what did you say?
I said, believe it or not, me and you, we winning when it comes to body types and survival. They say the lean cut, trim body style is the one that is most adapt to make it in survival in nature because we require less calories and we burn fewer calories and we produce the right amount of heat, temperature, generally the whole nine. So yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And see, here I am saying feminine, fit, and friendly, and I thought it was all for nothing.
Well, I mean, see, the thing is that it shouldn't be for nothing because you being healthy and fit and friendly, that should be because that's what you inspire to be. Like you should inspire to be healthy. You should inspire to be someone who is decent to other people. You don't have to be friendly, but at least be respectful and cordial. At least be kind enough to go ahead and not make somebody feel like you brushing them off or feeling like they disrespected. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, that should be something that you just do, period. You know, and that's where I'm at with it. You know?
Hmm.
But yeah, girl, we going on 4 hours. What you feeling like? You good?
Oh no, yeah, I'm good. I was about to, I always have stuff on my stuff in my IG, and I'll be like saving to review, and I was gonna start doing like I don't know if I wanted to do a whole nother channel or just kind of have like a whole, bunch of and just create like a little section of my channel where I'm just doing like reactions. Cause some stuff I want to do, like I want to do some reactions,
Sounds like something. That sounds like something that might be healthy for you to do. You know, I've actually been thinking about that myself, like just doing a whole separate channel and just do my music. Have a whole separate channel where I just, you know what I'm saying, do shorts, like shorts only. I was
right.
thinking,
But then I thought about how if you still just, how some people have that, like just a whole page of for that within their channel. So
right.
they'll have just like a section of their channel is just all the music. I created a YouTube channel for my puppy, you guys. So, oh, hold on, let me go and post the link. I'm gonna post a link to Beans' channel so you guys can go over and subscribe. He has one video, but I have all these dog videos. So I'm gonna start my fur mommy content, my pet parent content. So everyone can look out for that because that will be something that's coming up for me. Because like I said, I have tons and tons of videos with my dog and about my dog, or just like fun facts, information about the dog, about your pet.
Hmm.
So, folks you follow
Okay.
that, you know, are
What's up with
pet
it though?
people.
Um, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut loose on this one. It's been an awesome show. I appreciate everybody. I definitely digress. I might get muted.
Yeah.
You already know. Much respect.